looks like a grumpy old man.
Kind of is.
He for sure is.
Hi, Internet. Welcome to Nerdhouse Tabletop, where we have dinosaurs.
So, Dinosaur says hi.
Oh,
Hello, dinosaur.
Hello,
How
dinosaur.
are you?
dinosaurs.
We love you.
Okay.
He's like, yeah,
You're
I'm
done with the internet?
I'm the star of the show. It's fine.
He's the king of this house.
Yeah.
I just pay bills so that he has a house. That's all.
I mean, you go grocery shopping for him. Jesus, he's so big. I cannot believe it.
I'm so big. Oh my god.
Tail keeps going. Tail
Yeah.
ends.
Oh my god. He's 100% like, put me down.
Oh god.
When I'm working, he'll occasionally just like crawl and sit on my chest, and I'll just sit there and
Like,
work.
okay.
Oh,
Yeah,
Guess we're doing that.
yeah, pretty much.
Are we live? Are we
So
Yeah,
about
live?
that
we've been
D&D.
live. Yes, we are live.
Oh,
We are fighting a dinosaur tonight.
Yeah.
D&D and lizards.
D&D and lizards.
That's the dragon.
I mean,
That's the dragon.
It is Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah. That's the dragon of Decisions and Dragons.
Yeah.
Wait, what was that, Sam? Could you say it one more time?
That's the dragon of Decisions and Dragons.
Oh.
It's a twofer.
I wasn't going to go as hard as Cujo does because I have a headset
We're just going to
on.
find ways now to like weave it into regular conversation.
Yeah. Uh-oh. Oh,
Nope.
Whoop, whoop,
you
whoop.
good?
Am I back?
You're back.
Am I good?
You're good.
Yes. Okay.
Where did you go?
You are on
Where
the
was
internet.
I? Where the hell did
Have
I
I
go?
ruined everything?
Who
No.
cast banishment on Dustin?
And then failed their concentration check.
Yeah.
It was about the
You know
same
what?
worth
He
of time, too.
He accidentally called Faraday Fiona again, and she was done with his
She was
shit.
done.
Done with his ass.
They cast banishment and then tripped and fell on their face
Yeah.
2 seconds after.
It was just the anger clouding her vision.
Mhm.
Ow!
Easy.
Dang it.
My God.
Sorry, I just felt like kneeing my desk. I don't know what you want from me.
Unbelievable.
I needed to get a better chair. Okay. Last we left off. Oh, actually, real quick before we start, I want to give a huge shout out to the guys over at Sirenscape for their online soundset player that is essentially enabling us to all listen to soundsets made by Sirenscape. I have used Sirenscape in at-home games for years, pretty much since I started DMing. I love them so much. Poured so much goddamn money into these sound sets. They're super awesome and super cool. They have sound sets for dragon fights. They have sound sets for dungeon crawls. They have sound sets for mountains, for pirates, for anything you could think of. They also have actual licensed D&D sound sets for the actual books that have come out, like Avernus, what other one? Dragon Heist, any D&D adventure books, they have sound sets for. So if you are interested in using some of these ambient sounds for your own games, go to sirenscape.com. That's right. I'm doing a whole plug. They're not sponsored in any way, but I want to give a huge shout out to these guys because I love them so much.
Yay.
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 Now then.
That was very lackluster. Good job, guys.
Yay.
And there was much rejoicing. Yay.
Now for a small recap. Our friends had made their way leaving Turst Fields to examine their bar that they had now, become recent owners of, thanks to their heroic deeds in the fields. Discovering that there is in fact a hidden chamber underneath the broken down building itself, where it seems to house some sort of tomb. Unable to step any closer, as it seemed that there was some sort of spell of annihilation surrounding the door, they decided to continue to hide this chamber under the floorboards to which they found it previously, and make their way home at the behest of Thurston's mother. You arrived in Western, took in the sights on your way to the Nollard home, and upon arriving, you met Jules, who is the essentially manservant of the family, somebody who's always been around. You've met Gracia, you've met Laika, and you met Lady Nollard herself. Lady Nollard had a small meeting with her son and was at first put off by these seemingly random business decisions that had been made. but then very quickly was impressed, actually, at the tenacity of her son. As everybody was bonding downstairs, the lady of the house received some disturbing news that there were friends of the family who had been making their way all the way from Wildmount to come and stay with them at Western until they could find some new property in the city itself, had not reported in at Turst Fields. Lady Nollard had left with some Western shields to go speak with the what's the term? I totally forgot the name of it. Hold on. The Margrave, Margrave Simmerzet, who was actually the leader of Western. And while she had been gone, Thurston received a very strange, roughly written letter, essentially stating that the person who wrote this letter was responsible for the shadow attack just outside Whitestone, knew of their identities, and had these family friends, the Lorelei family, captured, and had instructed in this letter to report to Joran Village or something terrible would happen. We now begin game. You are in the dining room, still holding this letter. What do you all do?
I think I was reading the letter when we ended, so I will finish reading it.
Okay.
And in terms of writing, is it actually a handwritten letter, or is it like, cut and paste kidnapping message?
It is handwritten, although I will give you with your passive perception. That's right. I marked down people's passive perception so I don't have to keep asking people.
Yes.
With your passive perception of 19, you can get the impression that it's almost as if somebody's writing with their offhand, so the letters look a little janky.
Purposeful, potentially.
Sure. So, yeah, it is a handwritten letter. It's a little beat up. It's clear that the message had seen a little bit of a journey.
Mhm.
But, yeah, that's what
Okay.
you got.
Once I finish reading it, I will pass it to whomever is either next to me or across from me, so they can take a look. And I even gave them
Leica and Gracia have all meandered to different parts of the manor itself. So right now it's just you guys that are in the dining room. So you guys have a moment to yourselves.
That's nice.
The graveyard outside of Whitestone.
Seems like we are perhaps being watched, which is really creepy to think back on.
100%.
Watched and followed enough for them to know that some seemingly random family was connected to you, Thurston.
I mean, connections to my family are not, it's not a low number, to be fair.
Fair.
But it wouldn't be difficult. My mother said she had been writing the family for some time, so it wouldn't have been difficult to intercept a letter at some point in time, and obviously reseal it and send it back. I don't know. How they would have gotten our family crest to reseal it appropriately is a different question.
Is that something that can be forged easily, or does it actually look like maybe someone got a hold of a stamp or something?
I'd have to check with my mother or maybe Jules to see if there is anything missing. I haven't been here in some time, but I mean, something going missing in our house would be odd, unless they intercepted and were able to determine what was going on in a different way. Maybe it didn't get opened, but just a thought.
Arthea, maybe we should run to Gilmore a little early today and tell him about this letter.
That, and maybe I'm curious if in the time since we've left Whitestone, if there's been anyone poking about, asking questions. It seems like someone has an awful lot of information which and she kind of like looks around the room suspiciously, where it's like, if they've been following us or watching us the whole time.
I would hope we would have noticed being followed the whole time, the past 2 weeks. At least. At Turstfield's one thing. There's an entire town, there was an entire half a town we didn't even see or speak to.
True.
Yeah, but they said no one else different was in town, except for that one
guy
bard.
in the morning.
Oh yeah, Quincy.
Quincy, no last name?
Was that before I came downstairs?
Yeah, that was.
I think that was
he
before you
upstairs.
came downstairs.
He was.
He seemed kind of
Interesting.
harmless, though.
Didn't he mention though that he was interested in going to Whitestone, coming from Whitestone?
He was going to.
They were going to Whitestone.
Okay. They were going to.
Okay. But yeah, I mean, I can certainly write to Gilmore and see if there's anything odd that's cropped up since we left. I mean, it's been a couple weeks now, so
At least have him keep an eye out in Whitestone.
Yeah.
Just in
What
case.
there was some group that we already knew about was connected
Watch.
to. Yeah.
Yeah.
You think it's them?
I mean,
I imagine so.
They had Ophelia, the corpse of Ophelia, had the symbol, the badge that she had that she either tore off or something. But I don't think we ever really determined what went down that night.
Maybe we should see what we can find out about the Shade Watch before we leave.
That would be good, because
Yeah, all of these things are running in
Mhm.
very small interconnected circles.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it seems too coincidental, I guess. Plus, once we leave here, if we leave here, are we going to leave here? Are we going to Joran?
I think that goes without saying.
Indeed. We can't let people's lives hang in the balance. As happy as I am to be home, I am not comfortable just knowing that there's essentially a ransom note out. But they've asked for no money, just presents.
Your presence specifically, or all of ours?
Well, who was the note addressed to? Thurston?
I think it was, right,
Yes,
Kuja?
the note was addressed to Thurston. It was delivered by a servant.
Okay.
About 5-10 minutes ago or so.
I mean, that doesn't mean anything.
If they knew we were heading in this direction to obviously my estate, then easy to interpret. We'd get an interception letter here.
So I say we can't leave tonight.
No.
Right, Kujo, what time is it?
It's the sun is just starting to set, so it's still it's like a little bit after midday. But you guys know that like if you guys tried to get like preparations and everything go, if you wanted to go gear shopping, whatever, it would be nighttime before you guys could actually like make your way out of the city.
Yeah, that's my other thought. I don't think there's much between here and Joran. So anything that we're going to do, anyone we want to talk to, the idea of learning something more about this Shade Watch, even if it's just who they are and what they're known for in this area and who runs it, if anyone runs it, so that we're not walking in completely blind. We're gonna have to do it here.
We'll just leave. I say we take the evening, leave by noon tomorrow. That gives us the morning to prepare and do any research as well. And I think we should only take one carriage.
Should we take a carriage? Actually, have you traveled up that direction, Thurston?
Oh, no. Whitestone was the first time I got to travel by myself. We've never needed to go to Joran Village as a family, though.
Okay.
I hate to say it, Thurston, but I think you're going to have to cut it down to one bag.
Well,
And he kind of like looks, he's like, and it's like a does not compute. Don't understand.
With the very little civilization between here and Joran Village, we'll be back. I'm sure.
Do you think maybe horses would be better than a carriage to traverse the landscape?
yeah.
Can you all ride horses? Because I can't.
Give me a half an hour and I can do anything.
Oh, that's...
Well, that's
Great
also
for
a problem
you.
for you, but not the rest of us.
I looked at Arithia. I assume you can't.
I don't know if I can ride a horse. Is that a thing?
Yeah, essentially, it's like proficiency with land vehicles.
Mm-hmm.
I know
Which is tool proficiency.
Is it actually? Does land vehicles include horses?
I would say so. I mean,
I think I'm pretty good with animals.
Or you gotta roll.
All you have to do is sit on the back of it.
Honestly, I'm not entirely sure what the raw ruling would be.
No.
I feel like all the times that I've come across it, it's just kind of like everybody rides horses. Duh.
Yeah, my brain just goes like, it's medieval-ish times. Everybody knows how to ride a horse. Like, that's how you get around.
I assume that Faraday and Dermot have been hiking it since coming to the material plane and Taldori.
Whatever the ruling it is,
can't imagine she's learned how
Dermot very likely does not know how to ride a horse.
That's fair.
I mean, I can fake it, but
well, we can also check with someone. I don't know, maybe someone. I'm guessing we don't want. How's your family gonna feel about this, Thurston? Like, are they going to be okay with you going off up there, or is this us leaving and just kind of not coming back?
Well, I think they'll have to be okay with it.
Well, yeah, we'll cross that bridge when we get to it.
Here's the ruling I'm going to make with regards to the proficiency. You can ride a horse. It's if you have to do something difficult, like, oh shit, a tree's about to fall right in front of me. I have to quickly like rear back or whatever. That's where having the proficiency will help you, because you'll get your proficiency bonus attached to the check.
Gotcha.
To do the thing.
Sweet.
If you don't have that proficiency, it just means that you're rolling just with your modifier. So anybody
that wouldn't be like an animal handling.
It's going to be like an animal handling check or something similar, without that proficiency.
Okay.
There's just I should have taken horseback riding lessons with my sister.
I still think we should take one carriage, but take both horses, because we have 2 horses.
Yeah.
Is it 2 or 4?
I thought it was 2 horses per.
We have
2 horses per carriage, so you have 4 horses total.
Yeah.
I think. I mean, we could probably maybe take 1 carriage plus the 2 horses, and those who are comfortable riding can ride. That way, if we have to drop the carriage at some point, or we get up north and find that the roads are just not going to be sufficient for it.
Having a carriage and 4 horses shows a bigger footprint on the road.
Very true.
The 5 of us. Now, to be fair, that also makes us a target, as carriages are... And Freda kind of looks to, like, Thurston. Not, like, judgy, but, like, kind of gestures around, like... It's not a wagon hauling hay.
If we feel that being just on horseback would be best, then obviously that's what we should do.
I really think we shouldn't take the carriage. If we must, I will show you the basics of riding a horse.
If we don't take the carriage, we need an extra horse.
Yes, regardless, we would need an extra horse then.
I mean, we could always sell either one of them in order to purchase.
Yeah, we don't necessarily. I think we can get away with selling one of the carriages at this
Mhm.
point, and Westron is going to be the best place to do that.
That's true.
It got
Okay,
us here, but
So, sell a carriage.
mhm.
Do we just sell both carriages if we're not planning on taking either of them?
I think that would be the best.
2 carriages and see if we can get 2 horses.
Do we need an extra horse?
In case problems happen on the road, or a pack horse.
And you say that, and Thurston smiles.
Thurston, the pack horse is not just for your luggage, so you still have to keep it to one bag, my friend.
He just takes a sip of his tea.
I'm sure your sisters would help you
sell the
cut it down.
carriages.
They seem helpful.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, ideally, the more horses, the better, because, carrying any one of us on their back is tiring all day. And even though we would be continuing to travel, being able to rest a horse every day would be beneficial. If we were
Also
able to
someone-
rest 2 horses every day, if we were able to rest 5 horses every day.
Mhm.
Better chance if we do have to move quick that
Mhm.
the horses will be able to.
Right.
Okay.
So at the
Horses.
statement of your sisters are helpful, to the idea of packing less, Thurston just says, "You've never traveled with my sisters."
You hear a as Leica is standing in the doorway with her book kind of open, but she's been like raising her brow. I'm going to let that one slide for the moment.
They're typically just full of books.
What is it that you're planning? Are you trying to sneak away in the middle of the night?
No.
No, tomorrow morning.
Middle of the night.
Like midday.
Thurston.
The people that Mother are looking for seem to have been captured by a group we have loosely encountered on our travels.
All right. How dangerous are they?
A question we don't entirely know the answer to, which is an answer in and of itself.
Dangerous
Make a
enough
deception check.
I just say dangerous enough if they've taken to kidnapping.
I mean, we don't technically know the answer. It's not deception. We don't entirely know. 17.
17. How confident are you that you can bring them back unharmed?
Well, as confident as we can be. Lives are on the line, so we will do what needs to be done.
And how confident are you that you will come back unharmed?
Well, we've managed thus far. You can't tell Mother.
What? You want me to lie to Mother?
I don't want you to lie to Mother. I just want you to not tell her.
Well, I don't know if you caught wind, but she does have questions for you when she gets back, I'm sure.
Yes,
but
well, I will deal with that.
Being said, and she kind of looks down the hallway just to make sure Gracia is not around and Jules is nowhere to be seen. I will do what I can to maybe provide an opening for you to start your journey. Maybe it could be something like investigating your new business prospects or something. I don't know.
You could always just tell Mom that you're actually working on grandchildren. That'd probably distract her for a while.
Oh no. I already deal with enough of those messages. I deal with about one a month. If I tell her I'm working on grandchildren, that'll be one a week, and I can't with that.
It's better than me. I get one a week on when I'm going to get married to produce an heir.
I mean, there's a little bit more weight to that, but we're totally on a tangent.
And he turns everyone else. Sorry.
Sorry. I will see what I can do to try to distract Mother tomorrow morning.
Thank you.
I can't guarantee how well it's going to work, but I will do what I can.
It's appreciated.
Be safe. Don't be stupid. She gives you one of those, like, no, really. She gives you the look that's like, if they don't kill you, I will. So, all right, whatever you're planning to do, go ahead and do it. I got a letter to write. Talk to you later. And then she makes her way out of the dining room.
Well,
what does your sister do, I mean, so far we've seen her with her nose in a book. Might she have come across anything about the Shade Watch?
I suppose we could ask her. She kind of... I mean, what does she do is an interesting question. Noble women do not tend to have professions. But she does spend quite a lot of time reading and dabbling in whatever various subjects catch her fancy at the moment. So it's possible that something about the Shade Watch has come up. We could always check the library here at the estate as well.
Couldn't hurt.
Who else here in Westrun would know about them? Might have they would have encountered them before, or would anyone have?
I mean, I guess it's possible. We could check with people in the Scholars Ward, perhaps, to see what they've encountered, but I guess I don't know enough about them to know where to start.
Well, I know when we first brought the badge back and showed it to Gilmore, he told us a little bit. Nothing that's all that useful right now, but that they're basically a bunch of mercenaries or former mercenaries and thugs, and they sort of run the town up there now. They took control because no one else was there to do so. I mean, it seems like it perhaps was worse without them, but or at least it was to start. And then from there, they've gained a reputation.
But if they're disrupting cemeteries, they're disrupting death. I suppose I could stop by the Temple of the Raven Queen and
see if maybe they've been
see
doing
if they're
Stone. Maybe they've been doing it elsewhere too.
Indeed, we could ask the Shade Watch or excuse me. I'm having
Yeah,
a
let's
blank on
go
words.
to Jordan Village. Ask them.
Well, obviously, yes.
Hey, what's your guys' deal?
Shields. Shields is the other S word I was trying to get out.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I'm like, the people who deal with people who cause problems.
What are those things? Cops. What are they?
I mean, that's what the shields are.
The 5-0.
The 5-0. The fuzz.
Yeah.
the fuzz.
So I suppose that's two places to start, with the shields and if perhaps the Temple of the Raven Queen as well, for the less desirable, no offense, aspect of what they do.
I mean, because the note does say that the shadows were there for a reason. So I don't think I'd be surprised to find that they might be elsewhere for similar or the same reason. I don't know.
Well, and then
I
Dermot
just
and I
feel like I'm
can
being
work
watched all the time.
Dermot
When
and I
you
can
say
work on the
that-
horse. Go ahead, Corn.
I was gonna say, when you say that, Arathea, like Cadriel just like looks away from you after that dream you had. With the eyes.
I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't like it. All right. So I have, and Arthea has been kind of jotting down this as people have been kind of throwing ideas out there. So I have sell 2 carriages, buy 2 more horses.
Dermot and I can work on that tomorrow.
Okay.
It's too late to do that tonight.
And buy 2 horses.
It is still relatively like maybe like 2 or 3 p.m. So you
Okay.
do still have
So we still
some
have
light.
time.
It's not like you're like 8 o'clock necessarily.
Right.
Like you've got some time to play around with.
We should also look for some health potions. See, I'm sure that we can find somebody who sells health potions and other rations and things.
Don't we also have some potions that we took from Turst Fields?
Yes.
I don't know if did we identify all of those?
2 potions of healing. And then
I have light blue potion unidentified with a question mark in my notes, so
3 unidentified potions.
We got 2 potions of healing, 2 potions of lesser healing, 2 Black Widow poison, which I kept, and then 2 large unidentified potions and 1 light bluish potion.
yeah, okay.
And
So
another blue potion.
We should identify those.
And I guess we don't need potions.
Well, we
I have
We
a
have 4
vial of
healing potions
perfume
right now.
and a rabbit fur ribbon, and I'm not sure really what I'm doing with them, but they're hanging out there.
if we need to identify magical objects and
Mhm.
potentially even procure them, Gilmore does have a shop here. He said he's able to fairly easily travel between his locations instead of simply writing to him back and
Yes.
forth.
Or we could write to him and let him know we're here, and see if
Perhaps
maybe
he'd be
he
able to
can-
arrange to be here tomorrow morning.
That would be very helpful.
Yes.
I mean, identifying magic items is something that I could do.
All right, if you want to burn all your spell slots,
I could just
go
do that.
for it.
He can do
Trying
it
to
as a
save you
ritual.
spell slots.
He can do it tonight.
He can do it.
Yeah,
as a
I can do
ritual
it tonight, and
I
then-
think, right?
Yeah.
This takes a little longer, but yeah, that would be helpful, just so that we know if we have anything useful that we won't need to procure. Is there anything else we need before going out that direction? I mean, I think we all have appropriate clothing.
Well, I suppose that depends on if we're still expected to have dinner tonight in our formal attire.
If we're staying
It is
the
true.
night, then yes, dinner would still be occurring. But we will provide. There's no need to go purchase any other clothing. Don't worry. Our tailors are good, but I don't think they can tailor new clothes in only a few hours. So,
Okay.
Well, do we want to split up and run a few errands and then meet back for dinner?
Yeah, I think that would be good. So who wants to talk to the Shields? And if we talk to them, is that going to get back to your mother?
well, she's already talking to them currently. So,
Maybe that's something we should do on our way out tomorrow morning.
Yeah, I feel like that might be something to do as we're heading out of town, just so that
We'll be on our way out of town when she finds out.
Yeah, there'll be a little distance.
Yes, I think that might be for the best.
Um,
So Temple.
I can take the carriages.
I'll go with you.
Yeah. So we can each drive one of the carriages over to wherever the stable master in the town is.
If we're going to speak to the Shields tomorrow, what's the other errand? The Temple of the Raven Queen?
Temple of the Raven Queen.
And your library?
And your library.
And
I could
Gilmore's.
start in your library. I mean, I'm sure there's other libraries here, but
Certainly.
But I feel like we don't need anything too extensive right now. We just need to know where we're going. So, yeah, Temple of the Raven Queen, to see if there's anything we should be wary of going into this.
Okay. Do that and meet
All
back
right.
before dinner.
Maybe we should write to Gilmore before we leave, so if he needs to meet us here in the morning, he's aware.
We can do that. Is it later? It's later in Whitestone, isn't it?
There are time zones in Whitestone.
Whitestone's east.
There is
If
a
you-
little bit of a time difference between Western and Whitestone.
Yes, if you live
It's
in
not
Matt
like
Mercer's
daylight savings, but
If you live in Matthew
I
Mercer's
do.
head, there is time zones.
it's true.
Well, I doubt.
He goes, yeah, it's 6 hours ahead.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, like he's calculating real life
Like-
time zones. You crazy fucker.
Yeah,
I can't do that in real life.
can't-
I can't. I know. I can't
Yeah.
either. I have to fucking ask my wiretap what time it is in frickin' Barcelona today.
Yeah, I the other day I was like, "Ooh, I had a really good idea. Let me sit down and plan this." And then I got so into it that I was like, I need to stop because the chances of this being mentioned at any point
Yeah.
is minimal.
Yeah.
But you never know. Now I've just got it up in here.
It's fine.
All right.
Okay,
So
so yeah,
who's-
we can write to him. Do you want to write to him, Thurston? Just in case he has questions specifically about the family or the letter or something that might be more familiar with.
Sure. He realized he's never written in the journal before.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
yeah, maybe it's best we write to him before he settles in for a night of his own journaling again, just in
Yeah.
case.
Like a
He
diary.
hasn't made
Dear
the mistake
Gilmore.
again. He has not made that mistake again.
Too bad.
I would
Like,
suggest
the end of
though,
it.
like, I flip the page over. You probably want to start on like a clean page. But and I'll pull out the journal and pull out the journal and a quill and just push it across the table.
All right. And I will kind of essentially transcribe the letter so that I'm actually going to like start off like, Gilmore, we've received notice, of activity similar to what we saw in Whitestone. We received this letter. I'm going to put it like word for word in case any of those words in a particular order strike anything in his mind. And sign off, say we do plan to head in that direction tomorrow afternoon. But if you are available, we would be grateful if you could make an appearance in your shop here in Western in the morning to speak in depth.
Ask him if anyone has been asking about us since we left Whitestone.
Yes, we'd like to discuss if anyone's been asking about us or if there's been any other reports of similar activities in Whitestone or other towns nearby.
Yes.
A couple minutes go by. You see the golden trail fall along with each stroke of the quill, as it kind of highlights over what you've written. A couple moments go by, and you do see that he does write back and says that if you like, I can be in town tonight. Teleportation magic is fun that way. He says, other than Marin, nobody else has come asking about you, other than the 2 elves that you had saved.
So
They seem very excited whenever conversation about you comes up. You must have made a good impression. Dreadful news about the letter. I'm trying to think of how he would word this next sentence.
At a darling.
Yeah.
Dreadful news about the letter. Then there's a
Still,
pause. And you see the period turn into a comma and then darling.
darling.
And then I haven't been able to come up with any other concrete information regarding the runes or the script yet. But if you like, I can make an appearance tonight if you'd prefer.
I will write back. Well, if you can be here by 6:30 our time, dinner at the Nollard Estate. Dress sharp.
Darling, comma, I always dress sharp.
Gilmore's gonna be the most fabulous one there.
And then almost like a doctor's signature, you just see this incredibly huge and like swooshy G next to that last little thing.
It's his trademark.
Yeah. His bookkeeper's like, what the fuck, man?
Man.
All right. Seems Gilmore will be joining us for dinner. I will inform Jules as well to ensure that.
Yes, I'm sorry. Did you need anything? Jules is like appeared right behind
Well,
you.
yeah.
I imagine like everyone else freaks out, but I'm just like, oh, this is normal. Yep, this is what happens as soon as I need a servant. Servant is here. This is how life works.
It wigs Faraday out a little bit. Like she's so used to like knowing everybody in the room, and like him popping up is way too familiar of other people in her life that just like show up. That wigs her out a little bit.
Arthur is just trying to figure out where he came from. Like, is there a space, like a door, like mysterious little hallways? Does he hide in another plane? Maybe it's another plane and he just pops out when needed.
Just like has a pocket of existence.
Like a familiar.
Oh, I'm not needed. And he just like melds into the floor,
Yeah.
goes to his couch and like undoes the belt and just kind of like relaxes, like, oh.
Yep.
Feeling stuffy nobles.
Yes, Jules, we will be having Gilmore of Gilmore's Glorious Goods joining us for dinner tonight. I hope that won't be a problem.
I'm sure it won't. I do suppose that there will be some open spots, not to make light of a terrible situation, but there's more than enough food to go around, so I'm sure it will be perfectly fine. Plus, it's a good business opportunity. Get more affiliation. It's a good idea. I like it. Well done, young master. I shall inform the servants to make sure that there's a place ready for him at the table.
Wonderful. Appreciated as always, Jules.
He then takes off. Robot, you suck.
I mean, like, that's an important part of the day. Just saying. Taking off the old bra.
I get it. And as Jules walks away, you actually do see a little bit of a shine coming from the journal. As under the G, you see a small, very quickly written letter saying, Marin just yelled at me that she wants to come too. Hopefully not a problem. See you soon.
All right, back. Never a problem. I'm just gonna say, I apologize, Jules.
Yes?
I failed to mention, it'll actually be Gilmore and his daughter, Marin, that will be joining us.
Huh. Sure. Of course, I will make sure that the servants have all the places ready.
Is there a problem?
No, just curious. I don't. It's not proper. I shouldn't make comments about business owners. I'm just a manservant.
Jules, your opinion is always appreciated.
Yeah.
At the mention of Marin Cadriel starts like straightening out her hair.
Yeah, Faraday was like just about to go, ooh, Marin, but then like the jewels thing caught her.
Nope.
Oh, Justin's a robot.
Uh-oh.
Robot.
13.
13. Got it.
Let's let him catch
Okay.
up. Let's see if he'll catch up.
Quite a while.
Spirit stroke ever.
No, I think we're gonna lose him.
No.
Nope,
Justin,
I
we
think
love
we
you.
lost him.
But you're stuck with this creepy grin on your face while you're massaging your beard.
I think we lost him. I can't mute myself. Fuck. I have too much shit going on. Ugh. Hold on, I'll text him.
Just text him. You dropped.
I think
Reset.
we lost you. Oh, we can hear you.
It was really great that it took like 8 seconds to figure out what roll he made. I'm like waiting in anticipation with baby breath. Oh, there he
Yeah,
is.
We're back.
Hi, Dustin.
No.
Move so we know you're real.
Oh, wait.
Never
no.
mind. Just
No.
kidding.
No. At least it's not the creepy. There. Yes.
Wait,
Yeah. He's
there
Am I
back.
back? Am I back again? Oh my god.
Dustin, it legitimately sounded when you said what you got. You're like, I got 13. We were like,
Yeah, Discord apparently hates me right now.
you're good. You're
You
good.
know what? I will keep my comments on Discord to myself, slash when I'm not
Sure,
on Discord.
We're using it right now.
Yeah.
Listen, it's better than the
Um,
alternatives, okay?
Yeah.
Did anybody else roll insight, or was it just?
I did. I
Oh.
only rolled a 10, though.
I'll roll it.
I'm a little busy about to make fun of Cad about...
No, I'm pretty sure I think I know why he's doing it, so I'm not.
Ooh,
Insight, 12.
23.
Oh, shit.
Jesus.
Then tell... Or no, it's wisdom.
With the 12 and the 13 from Cad and from Dermot, you get the impression off of his body language that the moment daughter is said, he's just confused. Like that doesn't make sense. And then, Arthea, you get more than just confusion. You get... you can see there's a very, very slight blush that goes across his cheeks at the mention of, like you kind of got the impression, it took you kind of a second to absorb what was happening. You definitely register with a 20-fucking-3 that Jules and Gilmore may have met at some point, and Jules is a little thrown. This daughter seems new.
Ah. I'm not gonna be rude and say anything.
I mean, Marin's nice. She's not, gonna put her feet on the table or anything.
Oh no, that's not the concern. I'm sure that she's wonderful. I just I always was under the impression that he favored the same sex. I wasn't aware that he had a daughter that's new.
Well, I think we all know that families come in many different forms.
Yeah.
This is true. It's quite true.
When is the last time that you saw him anyway?
It's been a few years, actually. But no, never mind. I will ensure that they are treated with the utmost respect and shown every courtesy. And he gives a slight bow and he makes his way out of the room.
Stare very intently to see if he vanishes.
Arthur is like,
What is he doing? How is he doing it?
Somewhat
How'd you hurt
disappointed
your
that
shoulder playing D&D?
how'd you hurt your
Somewhat
shoulder, Joe?
disappointed that he
Oh,
seems
I
to
was just
just
imitating somebody like staring daggers at somebody and my shoulder freaked out. Oh, that sucked.
Yeah, that
Oh.
happens.
DM
Old people
injury.
problems.
You know what? I hurt my back trying to get a puzzle piece from under the couch the other day, so that's fun.
We're old.
We are old.
Yeah.
I have vaccine arm right now, so
You too.
yeah.
All right. So,
Okay.
who is doing what?
Dermot and I are going to sell carriages and get
Okay.
horses.
Don't let them lowball you. I'll give
Um,
you the basics on riding horses in the morning. I just need a rest to confer with someone.
I would say you're talking to a pair of people from the Feywild. Making deals is pretty much our shtick, but... And she looks at Dermot and goes, somebody has a... I will keep him under
That's why I'm
wraps."
saying. I have faith in you, Faraday.
Thurston will pull off his ring that's got the family crest on it and say, take this with you as well, in case you have any troubles.
Okay, and I will...
Feel free to act in my steed.
I'll actually put it on. Because
That's
otherwise
gonna confuse the fuck out of some people.
It's gonna confuse the fuck out of some people. But otherwise she'll forget it in her pocket and it won't do anyone any good, so.
All right. And then Arthea and Cad and Thurston, are you guys going to Scholar Ward for library research stuff?
I'm going to go to the Temple of
Gotcha.
the Mistress of Ravens.
Raisins.
Mistress of
Raisins.
Raisins.
Really hard.
That's like the worst thing to be
Worst deity
god
ever.
of ever. Like,
Shit, the Mistress of
Being the
Raisins.
mistress of dehydrated grapes. Not even
I
of the
am the
wine.
Raisin Queen.
Words are really hard,
Is
you
that
guys.
Dionysus' sister?
Okay.
You're more than welcome to come with me, or I can go on my own. I understand that her place of worship can be a little off-putting to some.
whichever you prefer. Arthea, are you planning on starting at the library here, at the estate, or going out?
I'd kind of like to go out just so I can see a little of the city.
Fair.
Even if it's just for a couple hours.
Cujo's like, oh my god, we're Scooby-Dooing this, and I'm gonna kill all of you.
And I'm working the plans. I'm also really trying to wade through Raisin Queen.
Over this.
Yeah, we're gonna need some fan art for Raisin Queen.
What is that brand that had like
Robot,
a talking
can you get on
raisin?
that for
Like
us?
the talking raisins
yeah,
from the
the
90s.
California
The California
Yes,
Raisins.
the California raisins, but like with a female one that reigns over them.
Ah,
Oh my god.
She makes really good cookies, you guys. They're all over.
Oh my god, it's so dumb. I shouldn't be laughing this hard.
Oh,
You know that the Raisin Queen is a trickster god because she does make cookies and then tells people that they're chocolate.
Disappointing kids on Halloween everywhere.
Oh my god.
shit.
You know, there was always that house that like gave out a box of raisins. And you were
Uh-huh.
like,
That house sucked.
She was a follower of the Raisin Queen. And then they would always be like, blessings of the raisins be upon you.
those houses often did give out little pamphlets.
Oh,
yeah, every time you got a box of raisins, it was one of the like the Jesus prayer cards were like accompanied with it. I've
yep,
gotten,
I remember that. I remember that shit.
Then there was the house.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, that wasn't just a Halloween thing. I still get those in my mailbox.
Oh my god.
Minus the raisins.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah,
What's even worse?
and I don't even get raisins with them.
Yeah. Okay, that's going in the notes.
Whew.
Raisin Queen. It's just gonna be a single line, and that's all it's gonna say. And we're gonna come back to it in 6 months to look at something else, and I'll just be like, "All right, well."
Oh,
really-
shit.
it's really
What
funny.
were we smoking?
No, it's gonna
really-
come
it's
up
really
when like you're going like conspiracy theory crazy, and somehow you're gonna be like, obviously this was super important. I noted it down, and now there's gonna be Pujo, you're gonna have to make a Raisin Queen. That's just
we need to
how-
commission Jonathan F. did an art
Yeah.
to do the Charlie Day.
Uh-huh.
It's Always Sunny, but it's CAD and it's just raisins against the wall.
The Raisin Queen.
Well, obviously the Raisin Queen is just like any other county fair queen, who's like
You
the
have your
queen of
chocolate
cheese and
raisins?
love. Like,
Here,
yeah.
Oh man.
Oh,
Oh my god.
okay.
No, the Raisin Queen is going to be your the quest giver in the next interlude.
Yeah.
we're gonna meet her in Jordan
Candyland.
Village.
Yeah.
You know what? She's going to give us a wide variety of tasting raisins. There will be chocolate ones and yogurt ones and, a nice trail mix with them in it.
I could go for a trail mix.
And then you'll get a magic item that's bag of holding raisins. It just holds
That's
raisins.
it.
Just no, it's like a bag of
Costco trail
beans.
mix.
No, it's like a cursed bag of holding.
It's a
Anything you put into it turns
Into
into its
raisins.
weight in raisins.
That would suck.
And the original item is
That'd be
destroyed.
awful.
That would
Oh,
suck.
Jesus.
Oh my god.
That's horrendous.
I'm fucking crying.
Beauregard has her ball bearings. I just have a bag of raisins.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
All
All right,
right.
we can do this. All right, so
We
Kat's
are
going to visit her
Yeah. right.
matron of the Ravens.
Bird lady.
Perfect.
Faraday and Dermot are going to go sell the carriages.
Yes.
Arathea is going to go to the library. Thurston, are you going with anybody?
I will go to the library. I will be the tour guide to the
Tour
library.
Okay. sounds
Magic
good.
folks go do magic
Mhm.
research.
Go to your
shit.
magic things.
Go to your
Magic
booga booga.
shenanigans.
All right.
And then we can if there's books in the library here, we could read some tonight too.
Of course. The library's always open.
Oops, wait, that was the wrong one. There we go. All right. So, first, we are going to go with Faraday and Dermot. You guys remember, as you guys were coming into town, that there was a stable master that was essentially just inside the gates. You saw several different kinds of horses. You saw all different kinds of carts and carriages and all sorts of things. Actually, it was quite an impressive stable, considering that it's in Western, one of the biggest cities ever. You guys make your way back there and do this. Try this music. And you can see that there are essentially several little stations where carts and horses are being, pulled up into this larger sort of yard where there are several different stable hands and whatever, assisting shields, assisting merchants, whoever. And one of the stable hands kind of waves you down and has you essentially park. It's a small parking lot, essentially, and approaches the two carriages and says, what can I do you for?
Hello. And as I step down from the carriage that I've been driving, I give him a bow and say, Dermot O'Ferry, and you are...
Oh, my name is Seamus. Very nice to meet you.
Well, Seamus, it is certainly a pleasure. I have a few carriages that I'm looking to trade for a number of extra horses. Our continued travels are requiring us to travel light. I was wondering if we could make a trade.
Let me take a look. And he begins inspecting the carriages. This is a halfling male with sandy brown hair, wearing a nicer leather vest over a nice white shirt, and he's very well kept for a stable hand. And at the mention of you saying that you wanted to trade carriages for something, it's like he reaches into his back pocket and a clipboard with a quill kind of attached at the top comes out, and he takes the quill and starts inspecting and walking all the way around the carriages. And,
oh god, we're at CarMax.
We are talking to a car salesman.
You can see that he inspects one of them, and he goes, all right. And then he moves to the second one. This is the one that Faraday is driving. And as he is moving around, he can see one of the wheels is of noticeably different make than the rest of them. He goes, bad luck there. All right. Well, all things considered, I'd say that all in all, normal carriage going rate's about 100 gold pieces. Considering that these are decently made, with only minor issues, other than one very clear damaged wheel, I would be able to offer, I would say, 100 gold pieces for the two of them.
We were hoping just to make a trade for extra horses. Unfortunately, the 4 horses that brought these here would not be part of the deal. I was hoping to acquire possibly 3 more horses in trade.
Well, I mean, there are different kinds of horses. I mean, there's draft horses, there's riding horses. You can get a pony, a war horse. I would say for a good riding horse, it's about 80 gold per. So I could afford 1 and some change for this trade. If you have any other coin on you, we can make it an even. Jesus, this is a lot more epic than.
While they're talking, I'll take the ring, Thurston's ring off, and just kind of hand it to Dermot.
Actually, we'll switch to that.
Tap him on the shoulder.
I look at you and say, I don't think Thurston gave this to you to include in a trade, did he?
No, but if no. And I kind of like I kind of hold it back and look at the halfling and say, we're looking to make the trade on behalf of the Nollard family.
Oh, are you? Make a persuasion check with advantage.
I'm really good at that.
Yeah, we do.
Okay. With a +0, 17.
All right, how many are you looking for?
We were hoping for 3, but could make do with 2, if we could.
All right. Let me go check our stables, make sure we got the availability. And he turns, and you see him conversing with a couple other stable hands, and he disappears into one of the larger stables. A couple moments go by, and he comes back out. We've got 3 available. I would say be happy to do this. I will say that I might have to put this on some sort of a tab for the Nollard family, but I'd say we can make that happen.
Fantastic.
All right. I'll get the horses out. We'll take the carriages off of your hands, and we'll go from there. And over the next couple moments, you see them, undo the carriages from the 4 horses that you do have, and they bring out 3 riding horses. And these are already saddled with a pretty, not fancy per se, but it's definitely got a lot more utility to it. You can see spots where you can hang some different gear off the saddles and whatnot. You are now flush with horses. And you are 2 people.
Yeah.
Please tell me, just out of curiosity, what do you guys do with your
7 horses?
7 horses?
Just so that I have all of my notes right, the 4 horses that we started with, I assume those are draft horses.
Yes, that is correct.
So we have 4 draft horses, 3 riding horses. As the handoff is happening, I just ask the halfling, and these riding horses all are already properly trained, correct?
Absolutely.
Okay. Then I take, and they all have all of their barding and everything else included.
Yes.
Okay.
I thought you were going to say they have their shots.
Not barding, but like their bits and bridles and
they're fully equipped, ready to go.
Okay.
Pretty
Barding
good.
is armor. I hand 4 of the horses to Faraday the reins of 2 horses in one hand, the reins of 2 horses in the other, and I take the other 3 horses. If they're all properly trained, they will just walk as a group, and it is, something that I've done in real life, and I've never had an issue with it.
That's fair. You guys start making your way back towards the Nallard estate, and you get some occasional glances from people on the street. You see a small family of humans that are like, why do they need, there's 2 of them. But you guys can make your way through the streets with relatively no issue. I will say it does take a little bit longer as you're walking the horses back, but you eventually come back to the estate just before sun has officially set.
I'm sure at some point Faraday gives me like a hairy eyeball, like, we have 7 horses, why aren't we riding any of them? And I just turn to her and say, trust me, it's easier just to walk them back like this.
Before we get back, we're like maybe 2 minutes away from the estate. And as we're taking the horses back, Faraday's gonna look at Dermot and kind of look at the horses after she's already given him the questioning, like, she shouldn't be questioning him. He knows what he's doing. Most of the time, anyway. And she's gonna, she'll look at him and ask, kind of out of the blue, we've been traveling, this'll be our first time in Westron?
Yes. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
After
I'd say, yeah, it's nice, isn't it?
It's different. I think this is the biggest city we've been in.
Well, we've been to Vasselheim. That was certainly a bigger city than this.
Yeah, other than Vasselheim. Vasselheim seemed like a bunch of smaller cities within one, I guess.
That I'll agree with.
Do you ever miss the Feywild?
Of course. But I've seen the Feywild.
Sure. Would you ever want to go back?
Perhaps. I have heard of a city out here that's inside a mountain. I think that would be cool. We should go there next.
Maybe after Jorn Village.
I forget what it's called, though.
We'll have to ask Thurston. And she kind of just falls silent and keeps walking.
Okay. All right. We are now going to move over to Arathea and Thurston. You guys are making your way through the city, and you're moving a little bit more south? Sorry, I may pull up the map again. Western. I think that's where the Scholar Ward... No, actually, you guys are going north. You weave your way through the streets, and you can see the buildings become less noble estates and more... not quite shops. It looks like this is slowly turning into more of like a campus of some kind. So you're seeing a textbook store. You're seeing, quills and wands and focuses. You're seeing all these different small buildings that specifically focus on arcane magical focus and whatnot. As you get to the Scholar Ward itself, you're kind of going along, if you're looking at the map, Western, you're going along that road that's right to the west of the Cobalt Reserve. And you get a very much clearer picture of the Scholar Ward. I am going to kind of switch up how the map looks just based on stuff I had in my head. So just people are like, that's not how it looks. I'm sorry. You can see the Cobalt Reserve, which is a sort of strangely half tower, half domed building with a nice azure blue roof with a beautiful garden that sort of surrounds it. You can see several different humanoids, some tiefling, halfling, all wearing these blue robes and looking very kind of prim and proper, and kind of like you pass by a couple of them and they make eye contact with you, and you can't help but they're just sort of appraising you a little bit as they give a slight bow. Not in that they're mistrusting, it's just you could just tell that their demeanor is of an appraising nature. Just north of the Scholars Ward is what looks to be essentially like a big college campus, where there are about five different larger buildings, some with different schools of magic sort of inscribed on the front. You can see like a small like garden area that's sort of in the center of all of them, almost like a quad or something like that. And one of the larger buildings, Thurston, you know of, is the Scholar Ward's library. So this is where all of the students of the university come to study, whether it's Secrets of Evocation. Essentially, it prides itself on being the hub for magical teachings for the university. And as you're approaching the building, you're seeing some other humanoids and other people that are, some of them are sitting on the steps of the library itself, using what light remains to kind of review their research and read through some books. You see some other people leaving the library carrying these armfuls of these large parchment scrolls, and they're trying their best to hold on to them, but some of them inevitably fall to the ground. And you can see, as you guys are passing through, you can even see, as you kind of look back out, you can see that there are other professors sort of leading groups of people through the quad, almost as if like, hey, let's get out of the classroom for a hot second. And they're teaching a lesson outside. And it's a very welcoming, but also very strangely high pressure atmosphere. As you enter the building to the library, you step into this large atrium area where you can see a large half-circle desk, and there are 4 people sitting at desks behind it. There is 1 tiefling, 2 humans, and a goblin. And there are some other, people at the counter, and they're conversing with the other representatives, but the goblin is currently absorbed in her work just behind the desk, and she does not seem to notice you. Immediately behind the desk are 2 large doors that clearly would lead to the library.
Do we need anything to get in here? Can anyone come here?
It's a very good question. Does Thurston know that?
Make a history check, because I believe Thurston was homeschooled. Is that correct?
Oh yeah, he didn't go to college.
Okay.
He was not allowed to go to college. Oh, he paid attention to this history lesson. 21.
What was it, 21?
21.
Cool. You know that the university, since it's still relatively new, is populated with a great many masters of arcane knowledge. With that comes essentially like a tuition, and like you have to have like a letter of approval or of recommendation from a noble house or the Council of Taldore to be a part of the university itself. Or you can make a charitable donation to be a part of the class as well. So there's a couple different ways, but you do know that there is some sort of a tuition that people are typically responsible to be a part of the university itself. The university, by the way, which I totally did not mention the name of, is the, what is it called? West Hall Academy.
No.
So do we just go in?
I've actually never visited before, but I'm sure it'll be fine. And he'll just step up to the desk.
The goblin perks up, and you can see that there's all sorts of papers and parchment and everything, relatively neatly organized, but there's of these, pages and pages and pages. They look up. You can see that they have they're a female goblin with a nice tight bun, of their black and somewhat graying hair. They have very nice little spectacles on the bridge of their nose, and they sort of look up at you. How may I help you?
Yes, ma'am. We would like to actually visit the library, if that would be possible today.
Do you have your membership card or your library card?
You see, I have not actually gotten a library card yet, so that would be something we'd like to do as well today.
Well, give me a moment, and you can see that they sort of reach down under the desk, and you can hear all sorts of rifling of papers, drawers being opened, and you are presented with a large, like, packet of paper. You see, there does need to be a bit of a registration process. Library cards are typically issued within 3 to 5 business days, but once we can get approval from the university itself, I'm sure we can issue a card to you. Unfortunately, I don't believe that'll be today, but you are welcome to complete this, and I can start processing this right away when you finish.
We will certainly be processing this and make sure I get on this. However, I would like to still visit today for a time-sensitive manner. I'd be more than happy to up the donation to the library itself in order for a one-time access fee.
You can see she looks at you when you say donation, and she's kind of appraising you like, and I apologize for asking, who are you?
Oh, my apologies. It's extremely rude. I should have introduced myself. I'm Lord Thurston Dollard.
Oh, right. Sorry. I apologize. I'm not so good with the nobility. I make a persuasion check.
Okay, Dice. I need you to be not a jerk.
Aren't they just sitting there like this behind Thurston?
It's a natty 20, 26.
Fuck. She goes, I would say a small personal donation of 20 gold. And I'm sure I can arrange a guest pass of sorts for you for today.
Wonderful. That's not a problem. Does that include my companion as well? She's helping me research. I wouldn't be able to really see any point of visiting without my companion.
She sort of leans and cranes her head and looks behind at Arathea, and her eyes become kind of transfixed for a moment. Huh. Not seen one of you. Yes, of course. I would say I would keep the same rate at 20 gold is fine. And she keeps kind of glancing at Arathea. It's a little bit of a quizzical expression.
Wonderful. I do appreciate your assistance today. And he just pulls out 20 gold, sets it right down, and he will take the stack of papers so that he can become a member.
She, like, in a flash, just the coins disappear from the counter, and you can see it just, the bag just whisk away somewhere in her robes. And she hops down off of her stool and waddles over. She pulls from her pocket this essentially like a lanyard pass, and waves it in front of the door, and you hear this loud clicking, and you see arcane runes sort of light up for a second before the door creaks open. This way. And she bows and gestures towards
Thank you. And I apologize. I don't believe I caught your name.
my name is Greta.
Wonderful. Well,
Nice.
your assistance today has been excellent, Greta. I appreciate it.
Well, thank you, my lord, and please do enjoy your stay. And if you have any questions, I'm sure one of the arbiters will be able to assist you.
Fantastic. Thank you.
As you guys walk in, Arathea, you again kind of glance and just see kind of like as the door is closing behind you, you just see one of these.
She's kind of like looking over her shoulder as it closes. She's just like,
The door closes and she's like, hey, and then it closes.
that was different.
Really?
That was not.
Money
yeah.
usually gets you in wherever you want to go.
Yeah. I don't really have a lot of money.
Oh, and Thurston has that moment of like, check your privilege. Like, oh.
I mean, I had more before, but there were some incidents on the way here. It turns out that money's pretty complicated.
That I will not disagree with.
Yeah.
But
I kind of spent most of it on when I first met Cad. Apparently I have one of those faces, the kind where people scam you.
oh, and he kind of nods in a way like, that's not untrue. He doesn't say
Yup.
it, but it's not untrue.
That's totally.
Well, be that as it may, you now have the group of us to assist and a library to
Much
pursue.
appreciated. Yes, this is a lot. What was it like growing up in a place with so much everything?
Oh, well, I wasn't really allowed to come to the library. I just used the library at the estate. That's all.
The library at the estate looked really nice too.
Thanks.
I'm sure that, well, I'd like to spend more time in it, but I'm sure there's a lot of interesting stuff there. I'll have to
As you
peruse
guys
later.
are having this conversation, you're walking through the small hallway, which then opens up into this mammoth with windows leading, showing off the garden on the outside, but you can see stacks upon bookshelves of books, almost like the library from Beauty and the Beast times like 3. There are small spiral staircases that lead up to higher levels. You can see that there are some books that are actually floating between shelves. There is you can spot that there's all manner of tables on this hardwood floor, that there are several different students looking like they're practicing their alchemy, or practicing different signs, or learning about different schools of magic. You can see that there are some automatons that are pushing these little carts that have different books and scrolls on them, and just as you see one stop, lift a book, and then just like raise a hand, and there's a slight glow, and then the book levitates and slowly starts lifting to slide back into one of the shelves. You can see that there are also all manner of different small familiars. You can see different cats like roaming and looking through the stacks themselves. You see little birds sort of flying through the air, and it's very beautiful and very intimidating all at once. As it seems just endless, the amount of knowledge that's in this building.
I don't
What do you
think
do?
I've seen this many books in one place ever.
Me either. Well,
We could
there-
find one of those people.
yes, someone to assist us and point us in the right direction would be a
Yeah.
good idea.
Go ahead and make me a perception check.
12.
Perception. 12.
12. All right. You guys are scanning the massive space in front of you, and you can see that there is one tiefling woman she actually has ashen gray skin with red hair with flecks with little streaks of purple going through it. Her horns sort of curve up and are slightly decorated, but not like a main focus of hers. She currently sits sort of near like the front of the room, behind a similar desk that you guys saw when you guys entered the library itself. This one has all different kinds of books and papers and scrolls and everything just sort of laying on her desk as she appears to be journaling of some kind.
That one?
Yeah, we should totally go for it.
It's like the awkward students, like the students who don't belong. They got their day passes and they don't know
We're
how to
basically
navigate.
freshmen.
Yeah, we're basically freshmen who like somehow missed that part of the tour. Okay.
As you approach the desk, you see her eyes perk up, her red eyes, and she says, "Oh, may I help you?"
I hope so.
Freshman. Got it. Welcome to the Library Arcanum. Is there anything in particular you were studying? Any focus? Any school of magic you were looking for?
Well, I think we were looking for, I guess, well, magical means of watching people.
Ah, all right. Sure. There are some spells such as scrying and whatnot. I do believe. God damn it! One day, I will know the different schools.
It's divination.
Thank you. That'll be the divination section, and that's going to be right in that direction. As she points, you can see she mutters a little bit of an incantation, and this light golden aura that sort of emanates from her finger, and sort of as you turn, it highlights one particular spot in the library itself. It's up about 2 floors that you'd have to climb up some spiral staircases to get to.
That's the coolest spell ever.
Yeah. It's
Thank
also
you.
really useful in a place like this.
I did major in enchanting, so thank you. I'm quite flattered.
Do you have anything that's I'm not from here, obviously.
Yes, I gathered you're a pallid elf, right?
Yes.
We read about your people from time to time. You're quite a rare breed. Welcome.
Yes.
I'm very blessed to speak with you.
Yeah. I don't think I don't think any of my people have made it this far. Where a lot of my kin are somewhat more reluctant to travel abroad. They still
Totally
get
understood.
closer to home. It's new to them.
Yes, of
It's
course.
new. They're adjusting, but
Was there
with
any
that
other?
said, we're looking for like local history, I guess it would be.
Oh,
And we're going to be doing some traveling soon, heading up north. It's north of here into
sure.
the
You
Jordan
aren't
Village
going.
region.
I'm sorry. You aren't going towards the Umbra Hills, are you?
Are those near Jordan Village?
Yes. Joran Village, you guys know, is essentially like right at the base of the Umbra Hills. And she says, wh- I mean, sure, there's some local history. And she points, and it's instead of pointing at one of the beautiful stacks of like scrolls and arcane, she points to the side where there's like a half stack of like almanacs and like welcome to Whitestone, like, you know, those sorts of books. But she does point, and a little golden aura sort of surrounds this half stack of books and papers.
Okay, that'll be useful.
I would sorry, I don't mean to pry. Obviously it's my business and could be for your dissertation or some sort of research project, but just be careful. The Umbra Hills are known to be quite dangerous.
Dangerous how?
Right, Paladolf. The mountain that you saw on your way in,
Mm-hmm.
the dark
The
one,
the black one,
right?
tops in the clouds, kind of creepy looking.
Yes, that is Gat Shadow. That is an ill omen on any sunrise. Any adventuring party hoping to infiltrate this mountain has never returned, as there have been all sorts of monsters that sort of prowl the hills and the mountain range itself. Getting too close to Gat Shadow is almost certainly dangerous.
That's good to know. We should note that down.
I would recommend so. Yes.
Yeah, we'll note that down. Take the maybe the scenic route up. avoid that area.
Right.
Is there anything else we should know before heading out that direction? It seemed like it's pretty, I guess, isolated. I mean, once you get past
Relatively.
West Run and I assume the
Sure.
surrounding region.
I've never personally been to the Upper Hills, so I can't quite give you a first-hand account, but I know that Joran Village, I believe, is really the closest settlement to the Umber Hills proper. And while they've managed to hold their own, I do hear word that it is quite a difficult life for anybody living in there.
Understandable.
But yes, if there's anything else you would require, please just let me know. My name is Mara, and I work here during my off study time. So if you have any questions, feel free to let me know.
Oh, thank you very much.
Of course.
I think you've been very helpful.
So where do you guys go look first?
Do you want to split up? Do you want to? I was just thinking that, I mean, someone doesn't have to physically follow us if they can look at us from some kind of magical eye orb. And I don't know. We don't exactly check for those sorts of things.
Yeah, that would explain quite a lot.
We
Yeah,
should probably check for those things, like a lot more.
Yes. Well, if you want to look into the spells and
Mhm.
how we can better ward ourselves, then
Yeah.
I will brush up on my local history and hear my mother's voice in my head yelling at me about my grades in history class as I do so.
Well, by the end of this, you might, make up for all of it.
Yes.
But yeah, that sounds like we're going to be going through some pretty rough territory. So the more we know to avoid, the better.
Sounds good.
Yeah. Do-do-do.
All right. So who is going where? I apologize.
I will be going upstairs to the second floor.
Okay. We'll start with Arathea.
Okay.
Arathea, you spend a good few minutes climbing these spiral staircases and weaving your way in between people who seem to be doing all of their reading like in any supermarket or any place with people in the middle of the walkway. So you have to do a lot of the. Oh, excuse me. Sorry. Excuse me.
There's also the periodic, like, having to stop on the balcony and just kind of look and be like, wow, so many books, so many people, so much paper.
Yeah, actually, you can look over the balcony and you can actually see that some of the people at their tables actually have this strange blue arcane stone seated on the table in front of them that is giving off this illusory image of a professor going over a lecture. And they are scrambling their notes and trying to catch up on their work. As you may make your way up to the divination section, you can see several different books. Typically, a lot of these are illustrating the history of divination magic, the main magic users who developed some of the spells and and as you are looking through, you do actually see that there is one other person in that section with you. She is a high elf. She has her long blonde hair kept in a very tight bun, and she is currently perusing a book on the history of divination magic, part like 5. And she just kind of looks up and then just goes back to her book.
There's going to be the awkward 10-second of like, do I smile back? Do I not smile back? I think we smile back. There are definitely behaviors here that I probably should have asked Thurston about before I came up, but I didn't do that. So
I love socially awkward Arathea.
Just there's little things like, oh, we're in a university. We've never been in a university or really a library. And there's probably etiquette for this. And that is not something that was learned. For the books, say by just in the shelf right in front of me, I'll move
Mhm.
down to, History of Divination, parts 1 through 6.
These are thick books.
Once I kind of can sidle down there. Can I read can I read the spines of them? Are they in common or are they in all sorts of languages?
Make me an investigation.
Investigation. That die is a piece of crap, so we're not using that anymore tonight. Wow, all those suck. 13.
13.
Wait, yeah.
You can see that the spines, it's almost as if the shelves themselves have some sort of enchantment on there. You can see the spines of the book are written in different languages, but it like almost hovering over each spine in common is the label of what the books are.
Okay.
If you would really like, I'm sure I can whip out some book titles for you.
Is there anything that looks like it's about either the ones that are the more lawful side of it, which is like, how to scry on people, or how to look upon your family from a distance, versus, and then obviously the scary looking ones that are like spying for dummies.
Right. You can find Tusk Love here. I see you, Court.
We already have a copy of Tusk Love. We brought it with us.
You can see that there are two books that kind of speak out to you. There's one that is just basics of divination and their uses.
Useful.
And kind of thumbing through it, you can see that divination can sort of assist with many different forms, but the passage that kind of catches your eye is scrying specifically. And it kind of goes into brief detail on what the spell does and essentially reveals like how the functions of the spell as they are written in like in the actual system of D&D. So like you get a nice
you get the blurb and it's in a little box and it
yeah.
explains to you.
You see scrying and like some strange like red font, and then it says like third level, whatever.
Yeah, 5th level takes 1 action.
Yeah. And then as you are thumbing through with your 13, you actually do see in the spot right next to that book is a very thin manuscript that scrawled across the front just says "The Art of Being Unseen" with no author. Thumbing through this, you can see that whoever wrote this manuscript was talking about alleviating divination magic, about moving through unseen by arcane means, and details that there are some enchantments that can actually prevent divination magic from spying on you.
Does it describe them or name them? Something where I could quickly. I'm not gonna steal the book, but maybe something I could jot down for later that we could ask Gilmore about.
You can see that it does list a rather high level enchantment that can be placed on a particular item of clothing or jewelry or object that can be attuned to. And once that attunement is complete, any arcane eyes that are on you are blinded.
Okay. Yeah. Just kind of looking at it and just like, that's probably really expensive. And we probably shouldn't just use Thurston's money for it. In her mind, she's like, he just seems to have it all the time, but like eventually like, it has to come from somewhere.
Are you saying this to yourself? Like out loud?
Yeah, probably.
The high elf just slowly looks up and does the awkward you see her expression shift, and then she moves around this case to go into the next aisle.
Oh, come on. You're in a university library. If no one is just mumbling to themselves, then
This
You're
isn't a
obviously
mad
not in a
scientist
university
library.
library.
I'm surprised that, we haven't walked upon somebody sitting in the corner, like surrounded by scrolls, super stressed out because they can't get their ritual circle right. And like periodically it just like flares up and like looks angry. And it's like because they left off the comma.
hmm Or you'll see somebody in one of those big, like, comfy chairs surrounded by books and also a plate with some noticeable crumbs and like a coffee cup as that clearly came from the cafe that's like down this aisle on the
The
right side.
familiar is literally drinking it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right. This is a Barnes and Noble. What up?
I mean, that's fair. I've definitely slept in those chairs in college. So
Is there any other information that you are looking?
I don't think so. I think just the methods that could be used. So scrying, and if there are any other methods that are similar that would be more practical. But I think anything in that genre, and then if there's ways to detect and or counter it, even if they're beyond us. But I think it's mostly to get enough information to ask Gilmore if there's a way to know if this is something that's happening. Because I actually don't have that spell. Nope. Gonna maybe have to learn that at some point, but don't really have time tonight.
All right. We're
No,
going to
I don't.
move to
Yeah.
Thurston.
I'll slide the books back and then kind of wander off. And like, I have a general idea where Thurston is, but it's going to take a while to get down there because she's probably going to stop about 3 times when something catches her eye.
I will say, with your passive perception, the high elf, the one that you saw move into the stack, in the direction of the railing, is nowhere to be seen. Thurston, as you are at your this sort of half stack of almanacs and travel guides and maps and all sorts of things, what are you looking for specifically? You said you were looking for like brief histories on local legends and all that.
Yeah, I guess more information on local legends, or like specifically Jordan Village, and if it mentions the Shade Watch, because the town and that group seem to be linked in some way. So information in more depth about that town is also like, someone just told us, hey, like, it's not a great life out there. Like, what should we expect? Like,
So make me an investigation check.
because I'm good at those. Oh, well, yes, I rolled well. So 16.
16. Pouring through a lot of the books, you do find that there is one that it doesn't have a particular title, but it is essentially sort of like a journalistic approach to local legends and the surrounding area rumors and that sort of thing. This is written as though they were almost like a pseudo Mythbusters kind of goal in mind, and the author's name is Araki. And they flipping through the book, you can see that it delves into the hoax of the haunted house of Westren. It delves into some of that stuff, but then you kind of flip through more and more and more, and you find that it starts focusing on the Umbra Hills. This is definitely towards the end of the book, and you can see that their writing, their journaling talks about their journey to Joran Village was wrought with danger, as it seemed like there was a monster around every corner. Camping was always difficult because you had to keep one eye open. You never know what's out there in the darkness. You read that there were rumors of disappearances, and now they're starting to make sense as to why, is that monsters just to keep coming up out of nowhere. Through this sort of passage, you understand that Joran Village is here because of a valuable resource. They are there to continue to mine out of the silver mines that are sort of tucked away in the hills themselves. And there was some other info I had somewhere. There was another resource. I can't remember what it was called. Shit. Totally prepared, guys. I totally prepared for this. Sorry.
Unobtainium, I believe. That's
Unobtainium.
what it is.
It's not even the Umber Hills. Shite. I thought I had a lot more info. Well, so guys, give me 2 seconds. I'm so sorry. Let me just make sure I give you guys the right info. Let's talk about our sponsors or something.
Unbelievable. No, that's okay.
Sponsors.
What sponsors? Listen, if anyone who's watching wants to sponsor us.
On that note,
Sponsored by the Raisin Queen.
The Raisin
yes,
Queen.
the Raisin Queen.
We will be... Oh, I know. We will be... Nerdhouse will be playing... Nerdhouse and my personal channel, Cozy Catastrophe, will be playing Overwatch with Cujo Plays Games and his brother. The game... I don't remember what they called each other the other week. It wasn't the gamers. It was something stupid, though. We'll be playing on Friday. We'll be playing some Overwatch. So you can come watch us be awful at that game. And then on Sunday, we'll be back being dwarves fighting bugs in Deep Rock Galactic. Because we're obsessed with that game. And I'm super
It's a
excited.
good game. I really like that game.
It's like a very good game. It's very Left 4 Dead-y. And then yeah, we'll be back next week with the show you're watching now. I think that's all we're doing this week. We don't have anything on Saturday yet. So yeah. I talked. Damn
Who's
it.
up next week? Who's up next? Of the characters, little character blurbs that you've been putting out.
Whoever sends me one next.
Right.
Yeah, y'all are slacking.
I'm staring at the 3 who have not.
I believe we've done Thurston's character blurb last session, and this one, like, we just met his whole
Oh,
family.
yeah.
Like, there you go.
Yeah.
I could just send the paragraph from my notes.
I mean, if you wanted, yeah. Yeah, whoever sends me one next.
It's Thurston's.
Yeah.
Of course, it has misspellings, and I think at one point I didn't really know his sister's name, so I just wrote fancy name down.
Fancy name.
In brackets.
Mm-hmm.
Because I pick pretentious names for all my characters. Yes.
That's okay. That was perfect.
Oh, I love the names. I absolutely love them.
Yes.
But I was like, ooh, Gracia, Sabelina,
You had
other
named
fancy
them,
name.
I mean,
Wow.
if you had named them like, I don't know, like Mary and Kenny, I just wouldn't be able to take them
Kenny.
seriously.
It's true.
Thurston's mother is definitely a
A
Sabelina.
plus.
Yeah.
That is,
Yeah.
yeah.
It was perfect.
A plus.
She walks in and you know.
But yeah,
You didn't know.
check out the art that Jonathan F does in art.
They're so good.
Has been doing
They're so
for us.
good.
Check him out on
Wonderful.
Facebook. And you'll see we're releasing the character portraits as we go. I have to update mine on D&D Beyond as well. So
yes.
Corey, if you want to do CADs too.
Can you send me a high-res one of it?
Yes, I can send you that. Yeah, whoever's remains sends me their character blurb will be on Monday. I'm doing them on Mondays, Monday afternoon.
On Mondays.
So,
Okay.
yeah. Cujo, what did you and your brother call yourselves? It wasn't the gamers. What was it?
It was Two Gays Play.
That's it. Yes, Two Gays Play.
That
Yes.
sounds like that should be on a different website.
It
Yeah,
probably brings
I
up
remember
very-
saying.
I'm pretty sure that's
brother,
the
He's
show.
like, we're not a fucking porn video. Maybe we shouldn't advertise it.
I do have a friend whose gaming
You're
group
confused with
is
OnlyFans.
called the Gamers.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, Two Gays Play. That's what it was. So
I
yeah,
love
we're gonna
it.
be playing Overwatch on Friday.
It's
In
gonna be
Cujo's
awesome.
new streaming
I get
slot.
so bored with Overwatch after like 3 rounds. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go
No,
do
we're
something.
playing we're gonna play the good ones, the archives. I'm so excited because it's
Mhm.
PvE. I'm so
Oh yeah,
excited.
totally that. And also, I'm roping you guys into Mystery Heroes, which is PvP.
Well-
Anyway,
But that's okay because it's Mystery Heroes, which means nobody's good at anything.
Yep.
Because you can't actually choose your hero. That I can do. I cannot do the ones like your brother who's so good at Symmetra that, like, it's sick.
Yeah.
Because then I will get anxious and angry and I won't have fun and I'll quit on you guys. But I could do Mystery
Terrible at
Heroes.
Overwatch.
That's fair.
But yes.
Turns out I was not missing anything. Silver was all that the goddamn town had. But
God damn it, Cujo.
Oh,
I
Dr.
know.
Cujo.
Sorry.
It's fine.
Um,
It's
you get some more info on the Shade Watch. Essentially, the town itself was under so many attacks from monsters pretty consistently, and the shields, spread as thin as they already are, were not able to consistently protect the townspeople. So there were a group of mercenaries, hunters, fighters, that sort of thing, that just stated that they are protectors of Joran Village, and they called themselves the Shade Watch. Western shields rarely really venture north, as their relationship with the Shade Watch isn't on the best of terms. The journal entries talk about how initially, while staying there, that the Shade Watch were looked to as heroes by the townspeople. You know, they are the ones who picked up arms with no guarantee for their safety just to protect the town. And then slowly, as time went on, they started kind of bullying the townspeople, and now they're sort of the de facto government. They are led by one. Where is her name? God damn it. Arhana Lewin, who is a dwarven female. She has resided in the village for a number of decades, and there are like two more journal entries, one of which fighting pit that a lot of the Shade Watch sort of visit whenever they're off duty to drink and be rowdy and whatnot and watch somebody get their ass kicked. And Arhana, the last journal entry, which ends with a slightly mysterious cliffhanger, states that they thought they saw Shade Watch leaving Joran Village in groups of 3 every so often at night to venture into the Umber Hills.
Interesting. By groups of 3. He just kind of keeps thumbing through and kind of thinking about that. Like, why? Like, for some reason, that's sticking out to him. Like, why groups of 3 if you're patrolling? That seems... Unless you're going for stealth, I suppose a small group is better. But why did the writer specifically say 3? Interesting. He'll just kind of wait for Arthea to be done and keep kind of... Since he's essentially closer to the entrance, like, he'll see her.
As you are waiting for Arthea, kind of just pondering these thoughts, you can't help but overhear that at a nearby table, actually in this section, where there are not a whole lot of students looking at local history and whatnot, but there is one table where there is a gentleman who is 100% sleeping on a table, like full on, arms under their head, and they are snoring quite loudly. You gather that this is an older gentleman wearing some roughly kept together robes. Pretty unassuming otherwise, but you can see he's got some like salt and pepper, lighter coiffed hair that is just starting to mat itself against the table. A couple more moments go by, and Arthea does eventually make her way back to you, a little bit out of breath as the the staircases and whatnot, quite numerous.
Gotta do more cardio.
But you have reconvened.
Did you find anything?
I believe you're muted, my darling. We can barely.
Fuck.
It looked like you were trying to like find the words, but then you kept trying to find them, and I was like, "Oh, she's talking."
Cue really important
Sorry.
monologue.
Found them.
Yeah. No, it sounds similar to what Mara was telling us, that the town is plagued by, and the surrounding area is plagued by some sort of monsters. And that's where the Shade Watch originally stepped in. But the writer of this journal, and he kind of holds it, says that when he was visiting, he noticed that it kind of ends in some strange way, but he seemed to have noticed some strange activity, like the Shade Watch was growing in small groups into the hills, not just protecting against them.
Yeah, that seems. I mean, it's that if it's as dangerous as people seem to indicate, I feel like going off in a small group. I mean, sure you can hide, but you can also be jumped by something.
Right.
And it seems like the author said it was like more than one group. Like this is a regular thing.
That's how I read it, is that it seemed like it was at least more than once he noticed small groups of the Shade Watch, groups of 3 in particular, they noted, heading into the hills.
Well, I guess that's something to keep an eye out for once we get up there, is if we see small groups of 3 heading off together.
Mm-hmm.
That might be indicative of something going on.
Indeed.
That person?
Yeah, he seems to have fallen asleep. I didn't want to be rude, but I don't. Um,
That one like echoes off of the walls a little bit.
I feel like someone should maybe silence him, or is that something? Would you get in trouble for doing that here?
You'd probably get in trouble, but wouldn't you also get in trouble for falling asleep? Maybe we should.
Yeah, we should
walk and talk.
Yeah, we should maybe. Are you gonna take the book with you? Can you take the books with you?
Well,
Maybe for the cards.
Yeah, we probably wouldn't be able to take anything with us until then. So, but
Okay.
I feel I've gotten as much as I can at this point.
You
Okay.
hear a children.
I feel like that was half an incantation. We should probably move actually away from him, because that could go very badly.
Indeed.
All right. Is there anything else you guys want to do? Are you taking that book with you, or are you leaving it here?
I'm not taking anything with him. So.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Aside from the stack of like papers in triplicate to apply
Yes,
for the library card.
Yeah.
Of course. I don't know. Take one last look around. Do I see that random high elf who was giving me the side eye?
Make a perception check.
Okay, let's find a new D20 that doesn't suck.
They've all been contaminated.
Nope, that one sucks too.
See?
Yeah, I'm just gonna have to break out the other bag. Yeah, that sucks. That sucks. That's a 9.
9. You're kind of passively looking around. You don't see that high elf anywhere.
Interesting. There was a woman up there, and an elf who was just reading, like everybody else, and then went around the side of the bookshelf and never came back out.
Well, I mean, it is a college of magic, so.
That was just weird. She just kind of went, didn't see her again. She was giving me side eye. Kept like looking over, and I wasn't sure if I was supposed to smile back or say something. but it seemed weird because nobody was really talking. So I kind of just
I
tried
think you
not-
were fine. It is a library, so
Yeah. Okay.
Pardon me while I mark down my NPC info.
Yes, say your notes out loud, Joseph.
Shh.
feel free.
Shh.
Yeah.
Anyway, all right.
Yeah.
You
I
guys
took some notes.
exit.
So I have some things I can maybe bring up with Gilmore later on ways people can watch us when they're far away and some potential ways to protect against that, though most of what I saw was, well, far beyond me. So perhaps he'll have a better idea. I don't like the idea of us riding up there with monsters in the hills and potential bullying mercenaries in the town and everybody knowing we're coming.
Yeah, I agree. That is a little off. Goodness. I'm glad my mother's never looked up how to watch me from everywhere I go.
Do you know she hasn't? Are you sure? No, she would probably say more if
Yeah, that conversation would have gone very differently.
I feel like you would have gotten a letter earlier if she was watching. Like after that first night in Whitestone.
A letter would have been the nicer way of going about it. Yes.
All right, you guys make your. As you're having this conversation, you've now exited to the
Is the
estate.
goblin still out front?
She is. She's actually assisting twin halflings with registration. They are presenting their cards, and she's kind of going over the rules of the library and all that. So, but she does eye you and kind
Give
of
her a
gives a
little
wave.
All
We're
right.
now going to go over to Cadriel. Cad, you make your way towards the temple ward of the city of Western. And this sort of similar to the other districts, pretty much the moment you kind of move away from the main road, the buildings become more and more devoted to the different pantheons, or different gods, I should say, of the pantheon. Typically, the ones that are looked on with the most favor would be the Stormbringer, the Wild Mother, and I had one more. The
The Raisin Queen.
Lawbearer. The Raisin Queen.
Arathis. Isn't Arathis Lawbearer?
Yes, Arathis is a Lawbearer. And as you are making your way through, you're just sort of kind of taking in the scene around you as you're watching, priests and, the faithful, paying homage to the different statues and whatnot into the temples themselves. And you actually do see that there is one temple, not quite as big and grandiose as the other, but you do see a small temple that's built from a darker stone that has a very clear sign of a raven sort of inscribed on one of the pillars that holds up the main entry. And you can see that a lot of the people are sort of meandering to the other temples, and they kind of, you see somebody give like a wide berth as they're walking around, the temple that you are eyeing. But you can kind of glance into the entryway, and you can see that there is one priestess who is sort of cleaning up, it seems, after a recent sermon. You can see that she is wearing darker robes, sort of like an ashen gray with a silver sort of trim, and her hair is long and dark, and she almost looks a little bit like Ava Green from Penny Dreadful, my favorite role that she's ever been in.
I love that show
Yeah,
so
that
much.
show was so good. But she is sweeping what looks to be a small broom in between the small pews. It's clear this is not a very fancy temple by any means, but you can see there are 3 sets of pews, only about 5 or 6, different pews in each of the columns. And at the front is a small red pool, of like a ceremonial pool with an inscription of like this half circle stone wall of what looks to be a porcelain mask. Um, and she is sort of cleaning up, and her head perks up as she hears somebody approach the doorway, and she says, "Oh, please, you're welcome to come in, and the room is open to you if you wish to pray."
I make sure my pendant is not like under my shirt so she can see that I'm wearing the Raven Queen pendant. And I just say, perhaps I will pray before I leave, but I was wondering if there was anybody I could speak to about finding out some information, perhaps, and some concerning things I've noticed on my travels that I feel would be pertinent.
She kind of like absorbs everything you're saying, and she actually moves and puts the broom against the wall, and she sort of gestures to one of the small like pews, and she sits on one side and gestures for you to sit opposite her on the other. Please, yes, whatever questions you have, I would love to be of assistance. I'm going to do my best Ava Green impression. It's going to suck. Just know that that's how she talks.
I sit down, kind of just looking around the temple because I've been in the temple in Marquette. There's the one in Vasselheim, sorry, but not in many other Raven Queen temples. I was just wondering if you know much about the Shade Watch and what exactly they do.
The Shade Watch. Well, I can't say that I've had personal experience, but from what I understand, there are a group of, I'm going to put this term with as much appreciation as I can, mercenaries who have devoted themselves to the town of Jordan Village's protect. Their reputation for a time was quite admirable. They seemed to act with the village's best interests at heart, but of those that do come to visit, I've only heard that reputation has slowly waned as time has gone on, unfortunately.
That sounds about right. I'm coming from. I've traveled here from Whitestone, and my friends and I. We are tasked with assisting. Assisting with a little problem they were having outside of the town, and we stumbled upon an old graveyard.
Jesus Christ.
It scared me a little.
Scared me a little.
Appropriate.
Just turn that down a little bit.
We stumbled upon an old graveyard. The spirits there were being quite disturbed. I know the mistress. She ferries the dead, and I don't think that she would so easily allow or appreciate those trying to ferry them back the other way.
Of course. Yes. In fact, it's one of her almost directives that any breaking of the natural cycle of things be remedied. That is, it causes imbalance. means danger to any near such a stain on the natural order of things. I'm sure you're well aware of the champion of the Raven Queen and the task and the price that he had to pay, even though he was technically undead. Even those most devout are not exempt from her rule.
He is the reason I began to serve her. I'm not without my faults, and I will admit that I have a ability to gain things from the spirits that haven't quite passed on, but I do not ask them to come back across the veil to serve. And what we found were strange runes written on these graves. Spirits were rising from them, harming people. We found a woman, a tiefling woman. She was a tiefling, right, Ophelia?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, she was tiefling.
A tiefling woman that she hadn't been gone for long, but when we found her, she looked long dead. And she was clutching a piece of fabric with the symbol of the Shade Watch.
Well, these, I'm no arcane student myself, but were these runes, were they done away with? Were they rendered inert?
Yes.
That's wonderful.
We found out later that it appeared that they had been drawn upside down. I don't know what that means, but the risen dead were.
Unfortunately.
I pity them.
Of course. Any who are so disrespectfully awoken from their well-earned eternal rest. It is a sight they can only produce the feeling of such pity. But if this woman that you had found, if she has very clear evidence tying her possible final moments to this Shade Watch, then it seems that our matron's plan for your heroic deeds have not ended yet.
I wouldn't say heroic. I have a lot of things to make up for.
We all do.
I just was wondering if perhaps you had heard things from other temples across Caldore.
No, unfortunately, no. I've been caring for this one for the last few years. It was actually erected as a means of honoring Vax'ildan. I, unfortunately, as much as it is a homage to the champion of the Raven Queen, I am rarely affiliated, just per their preference, with any other temple keepers. What is happening up there? Oh my god.
He knows the rules.
Rhodes, I'm just saying now would be the time to bite the finger off. I'm just saying it's an option.
Yeah. He knows the rules.
You're muted again, my love.
I'm just talking to Ash, warning him.
Yes, I was warning him.
That should keep him away.
Sorry.
No, you're fine.
This is why I usually play in a room with a closed door.
You know.
With a lock. But yeah, she says, I rarely encounter any priests of the other faiths of this city that would like to have a conversation. Unfortunately, and as she says that, you hear some sort of stumbling in the entryway, and you both look and see this human man, long dark hair, long scraggly beard, with what looks to be like a wet stain on his jerkin. He's got a bottle of alcohol and says, "Hey, is it time for me to understand why this shit happened yet?" He goes, "I'm so sorry. Pardon me." And she rises and says, "Sir, I have already established that I feel for your situation, but I fear that you are now berating me and this temple, and I've asked you to leave multiple times." And she says, "I'm sorry, I can't really remember giving a shit. So, she likes death, right? Is she why all this bullshit happened?" He takes a big old swig of his rum. And she's sort of gesturing like, "Sir, please, I don't want to have to call the shields. Could please, I'd be happy to assist you with any sort of confession or assistance when you are sober." And he sort of keeps moving forward into the room, and then makes eye contact with you, Cad. "Oh, good. Another fucking death fiend. Great. This is fantastic." He takes a big, long drink and actually finishes his bottle and goes, "Oh. And he drops it, and the glass shatters on the floor, and she just goes, "All right. Let's go ahead and clean that up." And she moves to get the broom again.
Can I stand up and withdraw one of my swords? And I kind of twirl it a little bit and say, "I believe you were asked to leave."
"Oh, we got a fucking swordswoman. I see what's going on." And he gestures for a short sword at his side before the woman goes, "No, no, no, no. Sir, for your safety, I would demand that you leave this temple." And he goes, "The fuck are you talking about?" And then you hear this hum come from the general direction of the priestess as well as the pool. And this hum rises for a moment and almost kind of shakes the building a little bit before you just see him go, and just some invisible force just pushes him out of the door back onto the street. And you look back at her, and she's clutching a amulet of the Raven Queen around her neck. "Sorry, sir." And she closes the door.
Put my sword away.
"Thank you for coming to my defense. It seems to be happening more and more frequently." And she grabs the broom again and starts sweeping up the broken glass. "I apologize. That doesn't happen as well. Unfortunately, it's becoming more of a pastime of some of the citizenship, but here we are."
Oh. Sorry I didn't do more to help you.
"Oh, no, you're already doing the miracles that us normal people wish we could perform in our everyday life. Saving people and stopping evil, it's a wonderful goal in life, and it's definitely living up to our matron's wishes for her followers."
Oh. Kind of why I'm here. It seemed to me that with the graveyards being disturbed and things obviously happening that you would be the most relevant people to come to.
Well, I can tell you that I will definitely be keeping an eye on the graveyard here in Western, just to make doubly sure that there's no more stains on the natural order of things. And may I ask your name?
Cadriel.
Cadriel. Beautiful name. My name is Rayla. I am the keeper of this temple, and if I should hear of anything, I'm sure that I will be able to make contact with you at some point.
Just one more thing. The word ataraxia doesn't mean anything to you, does it?
I can't say that one comes up, no.
Little research I've been doing on an unfortunate circumstance.
I'm sure more heroic deeds.
Well, not on my part, but on somebody's. I won't disturb you any further.
Oh, anytime. If you ever need somebody to talk to or a place to stay, you are more than welcome.
Thank you very much.
She gives a bow.
And then I'll head out. On the way back, if there's like a flower stand anywhere by, I would like to stop by and bring flowers for Thurston's mother.
Ooh, make a perception check.
Oh God, you're gonna make me roll my dice.
Yeah, I made you. It's welcome to D&D. I don't know what you want. You know what you signed up for.
13.
13. You do find a cute little flower stand. It's not like big and grandiose. It's really just like a cart that's just filled with like 4 different kinds of flowers. And there is a human girl no older than maybe 19 who is trying to say like flowers for sale. The flowers for the one you love. Right. Okay. Flowers? And she looks right at you and just says, flowers?
Exactly for the one I love, but I would like to bring some as a thank you for someone's hospitality.
Oh, sure. I think I have the right arrangement for that. Any particular color preference?
Perhaps nice orange and yellow. Nothing red. That seems like she would find it brash.
Of course. Just give me just a moment. And you can actually see that she turns to the cart and she, kind of puts her finger to her mouth and, starts picking different accent flowers until she presents this very nice bouquet of yellow flowers with orange sort of accent plants with it. And of course, there's a teeny little like grass plants and whatnot to go with it. So it's a very nice presentation. And she presents them to you. Would that work for you?
Yes.
Wonderful.
Can I have one of those lovely red ones over there?
Oh, sure, yes. And she presents one red rose.
Thank you.
A single red rose. Intriguing. That's just going to be 5 copper.
Hand her the copper. And a little bit extra.
Thank you very much. And she counts the copper. And how many do you give her?
I give her an extra 5 copper. So thank you.
Oh, thank you very much. I hope that everything goes well with the hospitality. And,
Thank you.
do you know of anybody else who needs flowers? I'm in town. And then she kind of questions what the hell she just said.
Oh, thank you very much. Good luck.
Thank you. You too.
I go back to there.
Okay. At this point, the sun has set. I'll say that the first ones back are probably going to be Cadriel along with Faraday and Dermot. Cad, you are walking up the steps just as you are hearing lots of horse clopping behind you, just turning a corner, and you can see Dermot and Faraday bringing 7 horses with, saddled and ready.
You're muted, Dustin.
Damn it.
We'll
I said you hear the sound of 7.5 horses.
I was gonna say
Eight with 7 horses.
so much pop pop.
God, what a fucking sight. Jesus.
I love it.
I just like turn around a little bit wide eyed. I'm like holding these flowers, one red rose, one large bouquet for Thurston's mother, and I'm just like, why do we need 7? None of you know how to ride them.
I explained this earlier. If we don't have a rotation of horses resting from carrying all of us every day, we won't make as good timing. And it'll kill the horses.
We're not riding all day with no rest, Dermot.
It's fine. It's what we got, and we got them here.
Okay, well, I suppose one of these is going to be tethered to my horse.
More than
Since
likely.
I'm the only one that knows how to ride.
You can actually see as you guys are kind of making your way up the walkway towards the sort of circle driveway. You can actually see Jules peek his head out the door and then actually signal to some servants who actually run out and offer assistance with stabling the horses. You guys
Yeah.
have thing.
I let them take them.
Okay.
Can they stable them somewhere where Thurston's mother won't find out?
Well, I mean, as far as Thurston's mother knows so far,
We just bought a lot
the
of horses.
carriages were ours, and now we have more horses.
Definitely not horses that we're going to be tomorrow. Or maybe we will. Not Thurston, though. Thurston's a good boy. He's going to stay home.
Jules opens the door and says, "Oh, please, if you'd like to, we're actually just finishing up dinner. She should be ready in about 20 minutes."
Right on time then.
I hold out the bouquet for him and I say, I bought these for Lady Nollard as a token of our thanks.
Very modest. I love it. I will definitely present this in a beautiful vase. We actually have an extra. Good thinking. And he disappears. You can actually see he's moving towards the dining room. And in a few moments, you see him return with the flowers in a vase, and he actually puts it in the center of the dining table. It's got a couple more pieces to add a little bit more flourish, but not a whole lot different than the bouquet that you...
I wouldn't happen to have a little small vase for this one that I can put somewhere, would you?
You know what? I believe I do. Give me just one moment. And he disappears again. And this time he's gone for about 5 minutes. And then right behind Faraday. Oh, yes, I did manage to find this one. It's a little on the modest side, but I feel for one single row. Is everything all right, miss?
Fine, just really lucky I don't wield a blade.
I do feel for a single rose. I do believe it would be nice. It's a nice sort of gray marble vase.
It doesn't have to be fancy. It just need the water in it.
He presents this to you, and at this point, we'll say that Arthea and Thurston arrive. You walk into the door. You can hear some horses sort of milling about in the stables, and you can hear a bit of conversation in the dining area to the left side of the main entryway. Oh, go ahead.
I'm just gonna say Thurston like gets in and then suddenly realizes what time it is, and he goes, "We have less than 20 minutes to get ready for dinner," and like goes to his room.
At which point I just watch him like run off and just like, oh,
Look at the others. Do we actually have rooms? We don't have to stay with the horses, do
we
we?
have what getting ready. What does that entail exactly?
He like pauses and realizes he left his friends behind.
They're all just sitting there
Just
looking like
It's like halfway up the stairs.
Like, listen, Faraday will get changed in the entryway. I don't know.
Yeah.
we're just
You better come get your girl.
Yep,
Like
we're
holding
just
his
gonna stay here
finger
until
flat,
someone
we're
tells
like-
us where to go.
And he'll call to Jules. Which wing did
Yes?
we? Yes, thank you. Which wing did we set my guests up in?
Oh, it's going to be in the East Wing.
Fantastic. And are they set with their dinner attire in their rooms?
Yes, actually, we did manage to come up with an assortment of outfits that they could choose to wear. He puts a little bit weight on choose, but then he looks kind of gravely at all of you.
Like, you'll do it if you know what's good for you.
Point of order too, Arthea, you actually saw him appear like on the stairwell, and you swore you saw him like walk down a hallway on the first floor, like just a moment before.
Like mental calculations, like
Everybody, if you would please follow me, I can direct you to each of your rooms.
Oh, follow.
are we in the
Yeah.
same wing as Thurston? Or a different are we going up a different
Oh.
way?
It'll be the same wing. You guys walk up the spiral staircase and you make your way towards the east wing, where there's several rooms available. There's a number equal to your party.
How convenient.
You can see that there are a couple doors that are more like French double doors. Those are immediately next to Thurston's room. You can only assume that that's going to belong to Gracia and Leica. But the other four rooms are well decorated. You can see there's a nice little center table with a beautiful bouquet of flowers. And immediately in front of all of you, as you enter your respective rooms, you can see several outfits sort of hanging on a clothes hanger right by, like, on the side of the window next to a beautiful queen size bed. Everything looks very nice, prim and proper, very comfy, but also very like, don't move a pillow because it might be out of place. That sort of level of attention to detail. We'll say, for the sake of time, you all manage to get ready. Faraday, you find in your room that there is sort of off-the-shoulder dress, very nice gown of sorts. In Arathea's room, you find a similar sort of off-the-shoulder gown, but it's of a different color to sort of go with your eyes and your white hair. Cadriel, you find a strapless gown that goes with your sort of darker sort of color. Dermot, you find the spiffiest of suits, tailored actually in the pants to not hide your hooves. And then
Okay.
Thurston, pick an outfit. You've got loads of them. But as you all are ready, you can hear that there's a little bit of conversation on the first floor. It sounds like Lady Nollard has returned.
Drill is supremely uncomfortable in the dress, and she was really hoping for one of those really nice pantsuits that's a jumper. Just saying.
Think they dress like this for dinner every night?
Probably.
Have you guys like left your rooms?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Are
I'm
you, like,
kind
in
of
the
like
hallway as you have
this
hovering,
conversation?
waiting in the hallway.
I
Like,
step out. Yeah, I'll step out into the hallway, like just.
We all
looking at
step
my
out in the hallway
clothing.
and look at each other because like we've never seen one another dressed like this.
we're waiting for you. Like, kind of like lost,
Nope.
like, you know, when like you go to like your friend's house for like overnight or dinner and you're like, well, I don't want to be down there alone and I'm not like 100% sure where I'm going, so I'm just gonna wait for them. That kind of thing. We're
Me
just like
and party.
loiter. Yeah, we're just like loitering.
Gotcha. Yeah, Thurston exits his room and he always dresses nice, but he's got like a dinner jacket on and like his hair has been like rebrushed and like restyled and whatnot. And he goes, "Oh, okay, good. Everything looks like it was tailored accordingly." Uh, what were you guys talking about? I'm sorry.
We were
Nothing.
talking about how great I look. Can I do a twirl?
That is true. He does look.
Like, look at me!
He does look
Yes.
I look
particularly
fantastic.
smashing tonight.
Yes.
Is
You
this,
all
is this
look
like an everyday thing for you? Like, you guys, is this what you wear to dinner every night, or is it just for like special dinners?
We have guests still, but my mother had, of course, intended to have a more formal dinner for the guests that she had invited. So it is uh, more dressed up than the usual affair. Yes.
Okay. Well, it is quite lovely.
As you guys are having this conversation, you hear half marching, but half walking up the stairs is Sabelina. And they are muttering, or she's muttering to herself, brave and professional. And she lays eyes on all of you. Oh, you all look fantastic. I'm very glad Jules was able to procure you some dinnerware. You look marvelous. If you'll excuse me, I'll be down in just a moment. And you can see she's visibly upset about something, and she makes her way to her study.
Look at Thurston. Go see if your mom's okay.
Yes, if you guys want to head back downstairs, Jules will get you guys set up. I'll check on my mother.
Meet you downstairs.
Okay. Thurston, you follow your mother into her study. Her door is actually kept open a little bit, and as you walk in, you see that she's leaning against her desk, head in her hands. Just silent, not like emotional or anything. She's just quietly thinking.
Is everything all right? Did your conversation with the shields not go well?
The Margrave apparently has decided that the search for a noble family, even if it is a friend of the Nollards, is not on the list of priorities right now. Apparently they are stretched a little too thin and can't spare any assistance. So I'm forced to outsource the job, and I don't like paying unnecessary money if I don't have.
Of course. Well, I apologize if I'm piling on. I don't know if Jules spoke to you when you arrived. We will have 2 additional guests. Gilmore will actually, and his daughter will be joining us. He has had some interactions and perhaps some information, and he said he would be available tonight. It seemed only polite to invite him to dinner as well if he was going to travel all this way.
Sure, not a problem. That'll be fine. I've had an interaction or two with Gilmore. I didn't take him for the fatherly type, but sure, yeah, that's perfectly fine. We have more than enough food, so. I know that before I left, there was some information that you elected to not make me aware of, and I am curious as to what that was specifically.
Well, as I explained, our stop in First Fields was not just uh, leisurely. We did stop because there seemed to be a commotion in town, and I desired to help when and where I could.
And what sort of commotion was this?
Well, as I explained, there was a murder in town of a local resident. So we assisted in getting to the bottom of the issue.
And as she's saying this, she's actually making her way towards the door to close it. And how did this go?
Well,
And
we, actually discovered that there was our lovely friend, Chain Helm, had actually been sort of guided to the town by a group that wanted to potentially use the town's resources, and they were undermining efforts of the town to grow and prosper, as well as compromising the integrity of the town's mayor. We were able to assist in bringing this to light, and the mayor is making major changes to get himself and the rest of the town in order again.
so this group, I'm sorry. They were essentially what, a band of thieves, rogues.
They are thieves. Yes.
That is not a lie.
And pray tell, how did this get resolved?
Well, several members were apprehended. There were some that lost their lives in a struggle, but there were some that were apprehended as well.
The moment you said lost their lives in a struggle, her eyes widen and she tries to contain herself. Thurston, my darling. I wanted to let you adventure, see the sights, and explore to your heart's content under the assumption that you would be safe. As this family cannot survive if something should happen to you.
You know that there is nothing that matters more to me than the safety and integrity of the Knowledge House. I would not do anything that would put that in undue danger. Any situation I may have gone into, I went into eyes wide open with the full knowledge that we would be able to succeed.
Is there anything else, any other dangerous events that transpired while you were away?
We have a dinner to get through and guests
Thurston?
that are waiting.
Thurston?
There may have been a werewolf at some point.
My God. She approaches and holds your hands into hers and just looks you straight in the eyes and says, please don't put yourself in danger anymore. I cannot bear to lose any other family members, and it would ruin me if something would happen.
I will do my best to keep safe.
Promise me.
I promise you that I will do my best to keep safe.
She takes a breath and gives you a warm hug, which is rare, but does happen from time to time. I must get ready. I'm sure your friends are awaiting your presence, and I'm sure Gilmore and his daughter should be here momentarily. Let them know I'll be. Get ready.
Okay. I'll see you shortly, Mother.
And as you go to leave, she goes, I love you.
I love you too, Mom.
The rest of you, as you are making your way down the stairs, you are met with the sound of conversation crawling up the circle driveway and slowly into the entryway as Gilmore and Marin, both dressed to the nines, are bickering over the shoes that Marin has been so forced to wear and how terrible they feel on her ankles. Why can't she just wear her boots and pants? She likes pockets. You know, that sort of an argument. And just almost as if it's like a light switch. The moment they cross the threshold, both of them look and go, oh, hello! Wonderful to see you all. And even Marin's like, hey! Jules gives a bow and introduces himself, and Gilmore goes, yes, and approaches all of you, and actually goes up and gives each of you a hug. Says, it's been too long, darlings.
I give a hug to Marin as well.
She gives like the bro hug sort of thing. She goes like that.
Like the
And
pat,
then
pat.
yeah, pat, rub. That like it's like a formula for her. And then she turns to Kat and goes, hello.
Hi.
How are you?
I wearing a ridiculous dress.
I am doing the same. Drinks are in there, right? And she just like quickly like power walks towards the dining room.
And Cadriel just kind of goes, I could have gone better. And follows him to get a drink.
Eventually, everybody is led into the dining room, where a marvelous roast is laid before you. A full pot roast, all sorts of vegetables, fruits, delicious spread, wine aplenty. But Gracia sits next to Arathea and says, actually, Mother has this spoken rule that it's like only maybe 2 glasses, and then we should probably cut it at that point. We don't want to get all messy.
That's probably a good rule.
Yeah.
I lean over and say, she sounds like no fun at all.
You should catch her on her days when she breaks out the whiskey.
Can this be one of those days?
I will try, but I can't guarantee success.
Actually, no. No, not after the last time.
There was a last time?
Well, I mean, there was a night where Dermot threw what was a very, very fun party.
Ooh,
like-
tell me.
But the
Pop
morning
music?
after was not something I care to repeat.
Ooh, drama.
Mostly just with my head and my stomach.
Well, yes, that's typically how hangovers go. But
That's a great party.
The parts that I can remember.
Sabalina and Leica and everybody else has joined at this point, and everybody is sort of relaxing, and dinner goes smoothly. And then Gilmore goes, so please tell me, what information did you need? You said you needed more on this Shade Watch, correct?
We didn't. Gilmore. We all just look at each other like we didn't tell him that we shouldn't bring that up.
And
No, we
Sabalina
didn't.
just
Nope.
slowly turns her head and looks right at Thurston.
Okay, I'm sorry, but what is this music that's playing?
I actually don't hear anything. If for some
Oh.
reason it's not playing for me.
No,
It
it's
sounds like there's
playing.
two different things playing at the same time.
Really?
Yeah,
Okay.
it literally
Yeah.
sounds like something that we should all be wearing lederhosen.
Here,
Like this
That's what it's
goofy
man.
bar,
One.
like goofy bar circus music started up,
Shit.
but the other like
Ominous one
really
kept
low
going.
key
Yeah, and all of a sudden
track didn't fade out.
All right, I'm gonna
I'm
put
just
my money on this
imagining-
one, and I'm gonna have to unlink and then relink my stuff so I can hear it. Hold on.
I'm just imagining.
Sorry,
that one of those
I was
Really
like,
not-
"Oh, it's this is like silly, but like maybe it's nice and chill."
Nope.
And then,
No chill.
This is the formal dance where you have to get up and everyone knows the moves.
Yeah.
all right, I unlinked it, so let me get the new thing.
No.
Come on. Ugh.
I said no.
Sorry. All excited about this thing. Now it's having issues. Another instance is already running. Yeah, I know. I just turned it off because you won't link. Link
Yeah.
device.
That was the
Being
angry
sassy.
notification.
Link the
Yeah, that
device.
was the sassy notification.
I do what I want.
I do
I
what
do
I
what I
want.
want. All right, I'm gonna do this.
Oh, join the game.
Do this. Eh? There we go.
There we
Oh,
go.
that's cute. Okay, cool. We're good. But Gilmore says, "So tell me, what can I do to assist you?" And Marin is just sitting and drinking, trying not to look over at Cadriel.
I glance at Marin every so often. Back at my food and my
I glance
alcohol.
at both of them and try and figure out why they keep doing that.
Purposefully like not looking in my mother's direction, I will address Gilmore and say, as we briefly mentioned, a family friend has gone missing, and we have reason to believe that they may be in Joran Village. And so we need to understand exactly. Well, we've tried to do some research, but we do need to know more about the town in order to ensure their safe return.
Well, all right. I mean, I know that the Umbra Hills are awfully dangerous. I mean, there's monsters abound. I've heard of all sorts of caravans under.
Can I kick him? Like under the table?
Ow! The hell was that for?
That's so good.
Shit. Sorry, I kicked the other foot out.
He hears the ow and then kind of registers and goes, "Oh, it's quiet place. Uh,
Oh, it's just making it worse.
really should have marked that down. Lady Sabelina, you are looking marked tonight." And she goes, "Yes,
Recover.
I understand." All right. I'm going to pull the veil back for just a brief moment. And even Gracie is like, "That's bad. That's bad. And Leica's like slowly like pulling her book so she could like hide behind it at the dinner table.
Howard.
There's
Christian like
a lot of
leans
them.
back as far in his chair as he can.
Mm-hmm.
She looks, she kind of lays her eyes on each of you, but not Thurston. As she does, she says, "I want you to mark my words very carefully. Thurston is the future of this family. And you, as his traveling companion, are now his hired guard. If any harm comes to him, I have connections with very dangerous people, and I
Mom?
promise that there will be problems for you, should anything happen.
Mother?
Go ahead, roll insight.
Can I just say, Lady Sablina, you do know that your son is very powerful, do you
I
not?
am well aware of his gifts. I have tried my best to nurture them from a young age, but he is still of noble blood and therefore is important. What was your
He's
22 is my insight.
22? She is steely-eyed and means every word she's saying.
I just say, well, Thurston's a good friend of ours. We wouldn't do anything to put him in harm's way intentionally.
I mean, to be fair, we would protect him anyway, just because he's our friend.
Yeah.
Right, but now you have some motivation to take extra precaution while doing so. Am I understood? And she looks right at Faraday.
wow.
I didn't say anything.
And Faraday, the one who's not arguing with her?
You know, he's not a little boy. I wouldn't be alive if it weren't for him.
No. Thurston's like over like gesturing to you like.
You're right. He is not a little boy. He is the last surviving male heir to this family. And therefore is quite precious. For more reasons than one. Now, whatever conversations, whatever plans you must make, do so checking every possible avenue for weakness. Root out the weakness and remove it from your plans to ensure maximum survivability for whatever adventure you have planned. And she looks steely-eyed at Thurston.
Do you want to just come with us?
No.
I say this to his mother.
I don't think that would be the best course of action. If it were my choice whatsoever, I would ensure that my entire family would be kept under one roof. But unfortunately, given these current times, that is not an option that is immediately available, that is looked on with any sort of respect. So I am placing my trust in the four of you to keep my son safe.
You have
I
our
still
word.
don't understand why.
I put.
We will keep your son safe because he's our friend and we care about him, not because somebody has paid us to do so.
I don't think we were getting paid.
She just said she was hiring us to be his armed guards.
I think it was a metaphor.
Well, this soup is fantastic. Yeah.
Jules is like, thank you, the cook and the chef are very appreciative of the praise.
Yeah, it must be a new recipe. It's fantastic.
Lady Sabalina finishes
Fantastic.
her soup, rises from her chair, and just says, just keep him safe. I'm going to retire for the evening. I've had a bit of a trying day. Thank you all for taking care of my son. And she leaves the room. Gilmore's like, I kind of peed a little bit. I'm just going to put that out there.
I think we forgot to put in the message that we shouldn't talk about it.
Yeah, I didn't think that we would have this conversation over dinner.
Yeah, I kind of feel like you should have included a little something. And even Marin's like,
yeah.
Sorry, everyone. I wish I could say unexpected, but I'd be lying.
I mean,
Leica turns to you and says,
Robot, what is wrong with you?
"Oh Jesus, what did he
What did he
put?"
say? I don't have it open right now.
Must
I
recover
must
the 8 of
recover
my
the
stable
8
pool
of my
points.
stable of boys.
Leica says, "I'm gonna go try some damage control, I think.
Thank you.
Just be careful." And she gets up and leaves the table, follows her mother.
I mean,
Gracie is like,
could have been.
best dinner ever. Just keeps eating her soup.
Jules, you don't happen to have anything harder than this wine, do you?
Right on it, my darling. And then he disappears down a corridor and returns with a bottle of just places it on the table with several glasses next to it.
Fill them up, pass them around.
Do you think it's better or worse that that happened, or her finding out tomorrow, that we're gone without her knowing? Like, maybe it's better this.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, at least she heard it from us.
she didn't.
True.
Yeah, and she didn't decide to cut me off. So that's
Yeah.
nice.
I feel like,
Cut off your what?
Hmm. I technically, I'm not the lord of the estate or manor until I turn 25. So my mother has full control of everything, which means she could, and for the next 4 years, decide that I have no access to any of my funds or traditional lifestyle.
She clearly cares about you, Thurston.
Yes. Well, you have to understand. Technically, the rules of the estate dictate that it has to go to a male heir. I have 3 older sisters, so I'm it. Or my mother and my sisters. Well, my sisters that aren't married, and he looks at Gracia because she's the only one not married.
You get the stankiest glare right back if you say
She
that.
deserved it.
He's working on a proposal, okay?
Good. Lose everything. The estate essentially dissolves. And the house line ends.
Seems quite archaic.
seems harsh.
Seems traditional.
Well, Thurston,
That one.
in 4 years, you will be well within your authority to break tradition, it seems to me. If you oversee the rules, you can certainly change them.
I suppose. Well, anyway, this is
Always
been a
entertaining
great
to
dinner.
change the rules.
Yes.
Gilmore goes,
Anyway, yeah.
I feel like we need to power through whatever questions you guys have just in case she comes back, because I'm shaking to the bone. She's creepy. I mean,
Yeah.
beautiful. Very beautiful, but terrifying.
Yeah.
Also,
Good thing it wasn't her you were negotiating with a couple weeks ago.
Maybe too bad it wasn't.
Huh. I mean,
And Catriel smirks at Gilmore.
I think she did have a point. Probably is a good idea to.
They'll keep each other safe. I'm not a babysitter. None of us are babysitters. Thurston would keep us safe the way we would keep him safe, and
Of course.
we'll have faith in each other. I'm not going to be your babysitter, Thurston, but I will keep you safe as I would anybody else.
Of course.
And I rest my hand on Marin's arm.
She blushes but doesn't move her arm.
thinking about the part where, running off half-cocked with a half-baked plan is probably not the best in this situation.
Hey, at least there's a plan.
That's true.
It's hard to
So-
make plans when you don't
So,
know what you're
so we
walking
are
into.
one
In that
step
regard,
ahead. We're
in that
starting in a good
regard,
place, yeah.
Gilmore, what have you been able to find out?
Nothing, unfortunately, on our little rune issue, our backwards script. I can't make heads or tails out of it. Wish I understood, but I've searched through all of my records. It's good that I came here because I wonder if I can maybe find something in the university. I wonder if maybe they'll have some extra material. Maybe I can sift through, but I'm not entirely certain.
There's a cobalt soul here, isn't there?
There is, yes, the Cobalt Reserve.
I mean, I don't know how the archives are here, but over on Wildmount, they're the go-to for any information. I'm sure that Cobalt Reserve would be happy to welcome somebody such as yourself, Gilmore.
You flatter me. I'm sure I can probably arrange a meeting. That's a good idea. Maybe that'll focus on that tomorrow. And Marin's like, and I'll just hang out, I guess. Gilmore's like, well, you wanted to come. You're welcome to come with me to the Cobalt Reserve, explore Western, maybe find another spot, maybe right next to my shop here. That'd be nice and secure. If you want to expand into a franchise. And she's like,
Well, I don't think we're leaving until the afternoon. You could always stay with us.
Marin blushes again.
How is the bar doing?
It's great. It was definitely you can see she's visibly like, oh, somebody quickly changed the conversation. It's doing well, after the word of the people who performed with the Ben Mezd, when they found out that they were staying at my bar, people decided to come by and see what things were like. So business is good. It's could be a little bit better, but it's not as slow as it was before. So I have you guys to. So, I also want you to know it only took a few hours to clean up after the party.
We should do that again sometime. That was a lot of fun.
We should, with some precautions, but yes, we should. But yeah, it was a good time. It was you guys are more than welcome to come by. Rooms are on the house.
Well, I'm sure we'll find some excuse to take you up on that.
But she says also, maybe I could look for some spots around Western. Maybe it could be time to branch out a little bit. It's a pretty big city, and maybe there could be something that might keep me here. Who knows? She's just saying this like out to the rest of the table. But Gilmore says, but in the meantime, if you find any more pieces of information, any more clues, by all means, send them my way through the journal, and I will get to studying as best I can.
Okay.
Is there anything else you guys
Indeed.
wish to do?
I don't believe so.
All right. As the party winds down, Thurston, your mother is nowhere to be seen. You gather she's probably in her room. As things start to wind down, Jules leads you all to your respective rooms, and does end up leading Gilmore and Marin to another room on the west wing. And as Gilmore enters the room, you hear sort of echoing out, "Oh my God, the decor is wonderful!" Just as Marin is about to walk in, you can definitely see her steal a glance at Kadri before she steps into the room and the door closes behind her.
Kedriel sneaks out when she thinks everybody else is sleeping and just knocks softly on their door.
Few moments go by and the door slowly creaks open and you can barely make out the image of Marin in the doorway. Hi. Hi. I don't and you hear a in the room behind her.
How do you sleep through that?
Earplugs. Plus, he
I
sleeps like the dead, so.
just wanted to give you this. And I give her the flower that I brought back.
You catch her in a rare moment of 100% vulnerability as she holds the flower and she kind of holds it to her chest and says, "Thank you. It's very sweet of you. I am a fan of flowers, so this is perfect."
If you need a little peace and quiet, I'm happy to share my space. I also sleep like the dead, but I don't make that noise.
She looks back and the snore is now like mutated to be like, you hear the and just pure silence. And then for a hot second, you guys are like, see breathing. And then you finally hear the breath out. She says,
That can't be healthy.
No, we're trying to work on a machine that would help him with his sleep, with the circulation. We haven't figured out what to call it yet, but still in development. But I appreciate the offer. I feel like it's a little too soon. I'm sorry. I don't mean to be prude. I listen. Whatever happened was.
Oh, I just meant that there's extra space in there. But it is nice to see you.
Right. God, wow. I appreciate the offer. I'll be okay though. I've got the earplugs, and you kind of get used to it after a while. It comes like white noise, like the rain and the outside the window, and all that sort of thing. So,
Have a good night.
Thank you. You too. And she like lingers in the doorway for a hot second, and then is like, "Oh, right." And then she slowly starts to close the door.
Cadriel fully stealths back to her room.
What was your roll?
30-20.
Nice.
Miss Jackson.
Miss Jackson. Stupid. Yeah, you like Batwoman just deftly sneak into your room and the door closes without so much as a creak in the wood floor.
Pass the logo.
And that is where we're going to call tonight's session.
Yay.
And because RP sessions are just as important as combat sessions, I feel that the last several sessions have been awesome. Gain a level, everybody.
Yeah.
Hey.
Level 5.
Level
Gain a
5.
level.
Do I get stuff?
Fuck
What do
yeah.
I get?
Do I get anything?
He's just sitting there thinking,
What?
oh yeah, there's some cool monsters I really want to put in here, and y'all gonna die at level 4.
It's
I
like
mean,
you
yeah.
guys are hitting the road. Mm-hmm.
Umbra Hills, yeah, take a level.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Maybe give yourself
get-
some HP.
Well, I get not a goddamn thing. That's fine.
Extra
Aw.
attack!
We get
Extra attack!
Third level spells.
Cujo,
Yeah.
you're gonna need to roll a d8 for me.
Okay. We can do the hit point and everything rolls once we're offline. But to
Excuse
everybody
me.
who
People totally enjoy watching people like level up their
That's
characters.
true.
It's very fun.
Yeah.
I mean maybe. But to everybody who tuned in, thank you so much. We love you. We appreciate you. Be nice to each other. The rest of this campaign will be a mimic campaign. Robot, that's not a bad idea. Thank
Been
you
there,
for the
done
idea.
that. It sucks.
Oh, it's fantastic.
But to everybody who tuned in, we love you. And we will see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.